Well, it hardly seems possible, but we're back and ready to start the 2026 Iowa high school football season. Good evening. Welcome to Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg tonight as we're set to bring a terrific showdown between the Falcons of Aplington Parkersburg and the Spartans of Grundy Center. Grundy Center, of course, coming off a semifinal loss last year that ended their 50-game losing streak after 3 consecutive championships and 3 straight runner-up finishes. Prior to that, Aplington Parkersburg coming off a 3-5 record under interim head coach Aaron Thomas. That's one of the big changes involving Aplington Parkersburg this year. They're now under the guidance of former West Marshall standout Zach Fonts. Elwood up and Austin Johansson, glad to be here to kick off this 2026 season. You couldn't ask for a better night tonight. This is going to be, I think, a pretty good game. There's a lot of excitement around this Aplington Parkersburg program that they're going to be able to rebound, get back to their golden days when Ed Thomas was here in the early tenure of Alex Pollock when he took over the program here. They'd like to get back to where Grundy Center has been the last 6-7 years.
Yeah, and I just had to look over, double check. This is Ed Thomas Field, right here at Aplington Parkersburg. And you're absolutely right. And I think with now first-year head coach of Fonts, there is a level of excitement here for Aplington Parkersburg. And I think maybe secretly, maybe they don't want to hear this, maybe secretly they wish maybe it wasn't Grundy Center that they had to face right off the bat to maybe get, their feet wet and maybe have more of their opponent that they feel like, okay, we can come in and we can dominate, we can have some excitement. But you got to look at it at the flip side. If you want to be tested, this is the team to get tested against. This is Grundy Center. You know them well. This is 2 schools and 2 programs, not just football and all athletics, that have a lot of history together. You look at basketball with a father-son coach and Grundy Center and Aplington Parkersburg. So this is kind of the ideal game to have for your first Friday Night Lights matchup of the season. And I think AP is excited. They're ready. And I don't necessarily think that they need a win per se. They need a performance that's going to get them excited and get ready for this new era of Coach Fonts coming in and leading them, like you said, back to the glory days.
And you're right. To be the best, you have to play the best or beat the best.
Right.
And you can learn a lot from this. It's not going to count by any factor of the imagination toward the playoffs because it is a non-district game. Grundy Center is coming into this game in a little bit unusual situation. As you know, you can almost say it's a rebuilding mode, but they played a lot of reserves last year, but there are a lot of question marks for this Grundy Center team.
Well, for me, this is the first time I'm coming into a Grundy Center game where they're not following, well, maybe my first year that I started broadcasting with you, because I think as soon as we started broadcasting together at the start of the year, they won state titles.
Yep.
So this is the first year that I'm coming in to where they're coming off of a semifinal or just a loss, per se. Ever since I started broadcasting with you, Grundy Center has won every single game. 50-game winning streak. I haven't been there for every single one, but every Grundy Center game we did, they have won, and this is the first time they're coming off of a loss. So for fans and for I think a lot of the seniors especially, they've been through state title wins, and now they're coming into their senior year off of a loss. It's a humbling moment for Grundy Center, but this is a program, I think when you look at it logically, you can't win every year, right? I mean, it was starting to feel that way for Grundy Center. It's like they can't find a way to lose. But now that they finally have a loss under their belt, there's no pressure of the 50-game winning streak or trying to break the state record. I think it was like 56 games, right, was the top record. They don't need to have that pressure on them. This is a brand-new season. They got a new quarterback. There's going to be some returning players, especially at the running back department. There's some returning defenders. There's plenty of experience on this team, and there's still a lot of talent surrounding Grundy Center. And under Coach Zajac, this feels like a program that doesn't know what it's like to not make the Unidome, at least. Ever since Zajac has taken over, they have made it to at least the semifinals, or more times than not, the state championship game, whether they've won it or not. They are at the Unidome. So the expectation is exactly that for this season.
I'm not sure what Aplington Parkersburg's mentality has been in the past years as far as scrimmages prior to the game. You and I went up to Denver last week. We saw Grundy Center work out against the Cyclones. That's a 2A program. I'm sure that Travis Zajac and his team learned a lot about themselves. It was just a scrimmage. They normally scrimmage West Marshall, but this year it becomes more of a possibility that they could match up in the playoffs, considering that West Marshall's expectations are high. But that was, I think, a good test that really didn't count, but it gave them a chance to scrimmage somebody that was wearing a different color uniform, and he did it on the road. So I think that was probably a good workout for Grundy Center last Friday.
Yeah, me and you were able to attend it, the scrimmage, and I was glad that I did because I was able to see Grundy Center and this new look team, because it is a new look team. It's Ethan Meester now taking over the quarterback position. I think a lot of pressure's on him, obviously, and he's a senior coming into a first year starting at the high school level. But I think Coach Zajac, the one thing that he said, because I talked to him afterwards and you were with me for that interview, the one thing he said that gave me a lot of confidence going into the season with Ethan Meester is he said that he's been under this system since he was in middle school. And that just gave me the impression, I kind of forgot that, when you get to the lower levels, not just at the high school level, the Grundy Center formula, the Grundy Center system is taught at a young age. These kids know what they're getting into once they get to high school. And the fact that Meester's been through that since middle school and all throughout high school, he knows pretty much every position on the offensive side. Now he's just the one touching the football every down. I'm kind of quoting Zajac there a little bit. But Ethan Meester is going to be well prepared. He's a good athlete. We've seen him in other sports as well. And he knows that there's a lot of pressure riding on him. But I think when you see them out on the field itself, I think they're going to pass the eye test pretty quickly, and they're going to be a fun team to really see throughout this entire year and what they got in store for us.
That's one of the biggest changes for Grundy Center on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, Judd Jarofsky, he's gone on to Stanford University. He's going to golf there after being a 3-year starter. Only lost one game his entire senior career, as the senior class did, in the semifinals. But as a starting quarterback, he only lost the one game in the state semifinals. But when they had to have a reserve quarterback last year, it was Lake Schrage that came in under center. Ethan Meester was at the receiver position. This year they've switched.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of my impression, kind of just doing some research. I was like, okay, who's going to be the starting quarterback this year? And I kind of looked at last year. I'm like, okay, most likely going to be Schrage. I would assume he was the backup last year. Just makes the most sense. But you can't always look at it that way. Yeah, it does get flipped around a little bit. And after seeing the scrimmage and looking at the eye test, it did seem like Ethan Meester fit the part. He's got really good size. He's got a good arm. And he's got really good running ability as well. He's going to be a very well-balanced quarterback that's going to be able to attack the games. And he seems like a kid that's going to be confident and just going to be able to put a good leadership underneath Grundy Center. And I think the biggest thing for me going into this game and into this season, who is Ethan Meester going to be throwing the ball to? You mentioned Schrage. Are there going to be a couple of guys that are going to step up in the receiver position? Because I think that was a position last year where they felt like they needed a little bit more production out of, and where they maybe fell short a little bit and had to rely on Judd Jarofsky's running skills a little bit more times than not. So I think in the passing game, they're going to look at the receiver core to step up big this year and add a compliment to first-year starting quarterback for Ethan Meester and go through that 1-2 punch in the running game. And they're going to be a really fun offense to watch.
And it's not just Grundy Center, Aplington, Parkersburg going through some changes this year. We've done that as well with our broadcast. You can join us on YouTube this year for the first time, and hopefully you'll be able to log on. You can still catch the video of this game on YouTube, but also joining us this year, we'll do a lot of Grundy Center sports when they're on the road this year on 94.3 FM in Grundy Center. And also you can catch them on 1190 AM and 103.7 FM in Marshalltown. We are also going to hear from the two coaches involved in this game tonight. It is Travis Zajac from Grundy Center and also Zach Fonts, first-year head coach for Aplington Parkersburg, and a Melbourne native who is a West Marshall graduate. We'll hear from the two coaches when we come back after this to Ed Thomas Field on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
API has you covered, literally. Top quality shingles, metal, rubber, and flat roofs, roofing and siding for home, farm, and business. See the API local showroom on Highway 175 East in Eldora. Free professional inspections and estimates. API Roofing, Siding, and Gutters.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
Colotel Fiber is connecting Iowa communities to the future. Enjoy reliable fiber internet with managed Wi-Fi, unlimited use, and no data caps. Colotel Fiber, fast, reliable, and local. Cooley Pumping and Sanitation is family-owned and offers septic pumping, drain cleaning, portable restrooms, inspections, dumpsters, and roll-offs. Cooley Pumping and Sanitation, experienced, dependable, and ready to help.
D&B Agri-Systems has the grain storage, handling, and conditioning equipment you need. From site planning and design to installation and service, their experienced team is ready to help. Plus, pre-season equipment checks help keep you running smoothly. D&B Agri-Systems, ready for harvest, ready to serve you.
Now, the first thing I ask all my coaches, and everybody's always different, Coach, you like everybody else, had a nice scrimmage with Denver last Friday, okay? And I guess I'm just wondering, did that scrimmage change anything about the way you're doing in practice? You know, the way you're looking at kids, your schemes, and things like that. Did that thing have a bearing on what we're doing game week or not so much, please, sir?
Probably not a ton of change. I guess it just more identifies the things that we're doing pretty well at, which there's a lot, but there's also a ton of things that we need to continue to coach and clean up and try to improve. And the message to the kids on Monday after school is that we don't want it to be a finished product yet after a scrimmage. It should be a finished product at the end of the season when you're hopefully improving from one week to the next. So proud of where we're at, a lot of work to do, and excited to coach them up and try to get better.
Coach, another thing that coaches always talk to me about, and again, it's different. 3 coaches say one thing, 3 say another thing. I got 3 coaches that say, you know what, Chuck, we're still kind of evaluating our players to still figure out where they fit, and maybe they fit in a different place as compared to last year. And then I got 3 coaches that say, no, Chuck, I know exactly what every single player on our team can do and the position that they can play. Player evaluation, Coach, is that all done now for the Spartans?
Not even close. There are years, Chuck, where I would probably tell you, yeah, we're pretty much set. We have a really good handle on who we know our varsity contributors are. But when you have a large senior class that graduates and you have a whole bunch of players that need to move up and take varsity snaps, you're still in the process of trying to figure out exactly what it is they can do. Gone are the days where you're going to get 15 or 20 practices before you play your first game. We don't have that option anymore with the limitations on how many practices we can have in the preseason. So, when you get into your non-district schedule, you're still trying to figure things out when you have a large turnover on your roster like we're at this year.
Now, Coach, I don't want to reveal a lot of secrets over the radio, and you know me, I'm very simple and stupid, and this is not a negative question. With the people to replace, are there a lot of skill people? Do we have to replace a lot of skill people, Coach, or not a fair statement?
Yeah, we do, especially offensively at the wide receiver position and at quarterback. And then on defense, it's the secondary. That's where we had a lot of our snaps that we lost. We had a smattering in other positions too, but those are probably the position groups on both sides of the ball that we are the greenest or lacking the most experience.
Now, Coach, another thing, and remember, I've never played football, so don't laugh at me. There's a theory in some other sports like basketball that when you have good teams for several years in a row, you've got younger kids that practice against some of the state's best players for 1 year or 2 years in a row, and so they're able to kind of step in and fill those shoes. Does that hold true for football? I mean, the guys coming back, Coach, does that mean anything? I'm sure that, playing JV ball helps a lot. Does it mean anything that they practice against some really good players the last 2 years, or is that a non-factor in football, sir?
I think it has something to do or a lot to do with, our sustained success over several seasons is, when you have older boys that are good players and are coachable and try to do things the right way more oftentimes than not, that usually leads to your younger ones kind of trying to follow in footsteps. So I think, we've been able to have our young ones rep against some pretty good players over the years, and that has helped them accelerate their development when it is time for them to take varsity snaps. They're not, it's not so much, starstruck by the Friday Night Lights. They just know that, hey, it's ready to go. We need to be ready to go because that's what we've been taught from the older players when we were younger.
Now, Coach, I only have 2 more questions here, and I'm not saying that playing defense is easier than playing offense, but Coach, even if you have some youth on defense, do you like to think that your defense can be pretty solid against most teams this year? Are there some concerns there with inexperience, or defensively, Coach? Are there just some things you want to do every year, no matter your personnel, and the kids seem to do it pretty well, sir?
Yeah, we've got a pretty solid system in place defensively that carries over year. And, the guys that are on, priority position groups on that side of the ball are coaching those positions. They do an excellent job from 1 week to the next of getting our kids ready to go and understanding how to align to the various offensive formations that we'll see. What are the biggest plays or tells out of those formations? And, we work that throughout the week. So when it comes to Friday night, our players have a pretty good idea as to what they're going to see from the opponent. Allows your kids to play fast and not thinking on their feet, which usually usually leads you to play a step slower, which is bad news when you're on defense.
Coach, here's my very last question. I always enjoy asking coaches this question the first game of the year. Next week and the week after, there's going to be a lot of film out there, okay? So here comes AP, and they've got a new coach, okay, Mr. Funtz, okay? So Coach, for this week and Friday night, do you mainly in practice just concern yourself only about the Spartans? Do we try to figure out what they're going to do, Coach, or is that always tricky in that first game of the year, sir?
Well, we've got a pretty good idea about what, Coach Fonts wants to do. We were able to practice against Bondurant Farrar at that co-team camp for a couple years in a row, and Coach Fonts is the head coach down there. So we've got, I think, a pretty good idea, but there's always going to be surprises. So, the first week for sure, and even into the second and third, there's always some wrinkles that come out that you didn't necessarily see on film, some unscouted looks, and you just got to, again, trust that, you've got your kids coached up to be able to align to things and then make adjustments in game, which can prove challenging, especially when you have, Class 1A football, you have so many kids that are playing two ways. But I think we're going to be fine. We're going to have a good week of practice, and we're excited to go up to Parkersburg and get after it with those guys on Friday night.
Coach,
The Eldora Hy-Vee store offers large town variety with small town friendliness. Find everything you need from fresh produce and quality meats to bakery favorites and everyday essentials. The Eldora Hy-Vee store, big selection, hometown service.
24 years of honest work and fair prices. Matt Schuyler and Jason at Eldora Tire and Alignment have the know-how to keep your vehicle running right this fall. A dealer of hand-cooked tires. That's Eldora Tire and Alignment, Highway 175 East Eldora. Experience you can trust.
AP football coach Zach Fonts joins me right now on Radio On The Go Sports as we get ready for this season opener against Grundy Center. And Coach, here we are. It's game week. Hard to believe we're at this point already, isn't it?
Sure is. Yeah. I mean, summer, it just kind of sometimes it seems really long, and then when you get to game week, man, everything just kind of speeds up. So, we've been waiting for this for a long time since I got up here in June, and really, really proud of the boys and how hard they've worked in the summer and the preseason, and now it's go time. And having done this a while now, from here on out it goes really fast. So we just want to try to make sure we enjoy every moment and just continue to build day after day and just really enjoy the season and the process that comes with it.
So you had your couple weeks preseason, you had your Gatorade scrimmage last week. Now that you're into game week, how has the preparation kind of changed throughout practices and things like that here this week?
Yeah, so I mean, now in game week, like our routine will stay pretty consistent, every day of the week from here on out. And so, I'm a big believer in routine, and so the kids know what to expect and just what we have to do. We start Sunday evening with a scouting report, and then Monday is we do some stuff and kind of do some walkthrough stuff. Tuesday and Wednesday are hard practices, and Thursdays are kind of we're light and we're fast. We're just making sure we're all crisp and just getting the last minute things down. And then Friday, obviously, you have a lot of fun, and Saturdays are off. So I think there's benefit in that routine that we establish, and just kind of the flow of the week I think is really important to the team.
Mm-hmm. So don't want to give away any secrets here, but when it comes to getting things established on offense, so what are you looking to establish? What's got to go right for you guys tomorrow night against that Grundy Center defense?
Yeah, well, I've always believed in balance. I think I'm probably more of a defensive-minded person myself, but I do call our offense, and I just know, defensively it's hard to defend balance, and it's hard to defend multiple players, and I think we got that with this squad. I think we'll be able to be balanced, and I think we got a lot of guys that are good football players. But I think the number one thing in football at all levels, especially in high school football, and I've been telling this to the guys since day one, man, you got to play hard, and we got to be physical, we got to be tough, we got to be together, and so I think ultimately every week that's really what I'm looking for. That's how I'm going to assess our team. And there's a lot of things that you can't control in this game, and there's a lot of things that you can't control in life. But man, if your habits and your attitude's right, then I think that's really what we want to see. So we want to see us be tough, be physical, and be together tonight. And then from there the outcome kind of takes care of itself. But if you don't have those things, then you don't have a chance. So I think that's something that we are in control of and we can be proud of when we play that way.
Last several years on this run that Grundy Center has been on, their offense has, historically had great balance between the run and the pass and things like that. How do you plan to kind of address that defensively and slow down that offense of Grundy Center?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a challenge, They have such a great program, right now, and Coach Zajak's done a great job there. And they, every time that they lose a great group, everybody, I think there's whispers, oh, they're going to be down, but they just continue to reload. And we would expect nothing different this year from them. They do return a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage. And so when you have a great offensive and defensive line, I think that allows you to do a lot of things, and they have good athletes, not just in football, but in every sport. So, we're certainly going to have to be tough, be physical, be together. It does start there. And then you've got to just make sure that you're covering all your bases with all the things that they do on offense. Their run game, their zone run game. They work your edges a little bit. Quarterback is involved in the run game historically, and then they give you multiple sets. I mean, multiple sets from 21 personnel to 20 to 11 to 10. So don't sub out a lot of guys with those. So you got to make some adjustments formationally on defense as well, which is always challenging. But we've worked at it, really since I got here, kind of. So.
Thinking back between day one of practice and now, where have you kind of seen the most development with this team, you think?
Yeah, I mean, just the growth in every area has been fun and exciting to watch. And I think that's what we want our program to be. We don't want to, just become, better. We want to just become better in everything. I mean, from team bonding to culture to how we approach, with our habits and our things like that. And then certainly our schematics, our individual, position specific stuff. And so we've challenged the kids pretty hard to grow in all those areas. And I mean, our coaching staff has done a great job holding kids accountable in all of those areas. So I think success is all encompassing. You can't just point to one thing, and everything matters. And so that's really what we've tried to stress. And weight room habits, nutrition, rest, recovery. I mean, everything. And so I've just been so proud of our young men and how they've bought into that. And I think that's what you need to build success.
Mm-hmm. Going to be your first game here as the head coach at AP. Any thoughts on what it's going to be like for you going out onto Ed Thomas Field for the first time in an actual game situation tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at this game in a lot of different ways, but I mean, and you could say, oh man, first game is, I love it. I love that we're playing Grundy Center in our week 1 game, man. Like I just can't imagine, a better opponent to play, and they're going to be really good. So I'm not saying, anything, otherwise. They are an unbelievably great football team, and it will be a massive challenge for us. But with those big moments come great opportunity, and I think it'll be electric, man. I think there will be a ton of people. I think there will be a lot of energy in the stadium. I mean, there always is in week 1, no matter what. I mean, everybody's got, the highest of expectations. There's been no disappointment yet, but man, with this game and the opponents and the atmosphere that we're going to have, it's going to be electric. And I'm just so excited that our kids get to be a part of such a great atmosphere and great opportunity.
All right, last thing for you here today. When it comes down to it, what are going to be the ultimate X factors, biggest keys to success here in week 1 against Grundy Center?
I mean, the line of scrimmage will be important, as it always is, but especially against them just because they're so good at the line of scrimmage. So, it's cliche, whatever. Cliches are cliches for a reason. I mean, you got to win the line of scrimmage, and especially in a game like this. And, I think whoever does that, will have an upper hand in the outcome. But also, it's week 1, and there's always a lot of mistakes. So I think the team's also that executes the best and has the fewest mistakes, whether that's penalties, turnovers, blown assignments, stuff like that. That stuff happens early in the season. So, I think both teams probably are looking to try to win the line of scrimmage and just execute to the very best of their ability and eliminate those mistakes that get you beat.
All right, Coach, appreciate the time today, and best luck here in week 1.
Thank you.
Ellsworth Community College is preparing students for success with affordable education and hands-on learning. Whether you're starting your college journey or preparing for a career, Ellsworth Community College is here to help you succeed. RTU doesn't just serve Rhinebeck. We've brought high-speed internet to rural Grundy and Tama counties, and we're soon going to be in Traer. Your hometown provider, growing with the community. RTU. Learn more at rhinebeck.net.
4 feet.
Elwin up and Austin Johansson back with you tonight here at Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg as we're set to kick off this 2026 high school football season between rivals Aplington Parkersburg and Grundy Center. This is a series that Aplington Parkersburg leads 5-3 since 2007. Aplington Parkersburg, one of the first 5 meetings between those two teams between 2007 and 2015. Grundy Center, though, has won the last 3 against Aplington Parkersburg, beating the Falcons 31-7 in 2023. Beating the Falcons 43-7 in 2024, and the last meeting a year ago was 35-13 in favor of the Spartans. Grundy Center's huddled up over in the corner. Aplington Parkersburg just made its way out onto the field, looking sharp in their red uniforms with white numerals. Grundy Center dressed in their old white uniforms with maroon numerals. Marching band is set to go here as well, and this is just a terrific night for high school football. We'll get the starting lineups here in just a moment, but some final thoughts here before we get this one kicked off.
Yeah, I think, this is our first game of the season. It's glad to be back with you, Owen. I feel like we didn't really talk about each other a little bit, but I hope you did well off your break, and I'm glad to have you back, and I'm glad you're still with us. I know we went through a big change here now, a part of Radio on the Go, so we're excited to be bringing this to you and, a part of all the other stations that are along with us here at Radio on the Go, and excited to bring you all the Grundy Center away games from here on out. So I hope you guys are tuning in, Grundy Center fans on the road, and we're just excited to see some football. No matter who it is, but especially a Grundy Center AP rivalry matchup to start the season. Can't think of any better way to get up and going.
Yeah, should be fun. Looking forward to it. We'll take a break, and we'll come back, set the opening lineups here for you, and have the opening kickoff from Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg right after this on KDAO and Radio on the Sports.
Farm Bureau Financial Services offers customized coverage for your farm, machinery, livestock, and more. All in one policy, one premium, and one deductible. Contact Farm Bureau agent Kyle Blom or sales associate Justin Teesing in Rhinebeck.
This is Ben Ferris from Ferris Insurance Agency, your local American Family Insurance agent. We offer home, auto, and life insurance through American Family. We serve Iowa Falls, Eldora, and the surrounding counties. Find us across from Hy-Vee in Iowa Falls or on Highway 175 in downtown Eldora.
Gallagher Insurance Risk Management and Consulting is a leading global insurance brokerage and consulting firm. Visit Gallagher at 11 East Church Street in Marshalltown or call 641-752-4618.
GNB Bank is a proud supporter of Grundy Center and surrounding communities. Count on your hometown team at GNB Bank for protection and all your customized banking needs. GNB Bank is there when you need them. GNB Bank, member FDIC, banking you can count on.
Hanson Family Hospital is your home for healthcare in Hardin County. From convenient family care and specialists close to home to 24/7 emergency care, Hanson Family Hospital is committed to providing compassionate, quality healthcare for you and your family. Hanson Family Hospital, care close to home.
J&T Plumbing and Heating is ready to help with your home or business. From plumbing repairs and drain cleaning to heating, furnace, and air conditioning service, J&T Plumbing and Heating, keeping you comfortable year-round.
Here are the starting lineups for tonight's season opener. We'll start with Grundy Center. The road team tonight, again, quarterback will be Ethan Meester, the 6'4", 190-pound senior. Will take the snaps under center tonight. In the backfield will be Hayden Curtis getting the starts. You'll see a lot of Cooper Keller as well. His wide receiver core features Lake Schrage along with Cash Combs and Brant Aronson. And across that front line, left to right, Riggs Yoder, Carter Ruth, Kyle Seitz, Ty Zajac, and also Jackson Heisman. Grundy Center will feature a 5-4 defensive alignment, which has been pretty standard under head coach Travis Zajac. Aplington Parkersburg's offensive unit will be led by quarterback Harrison Schultz, a 6'4", 175-pound junior. His fullback, Devin Eberhardt, a 5'9", 170-pound junior. Mason Prusner in the backfield as well. He's the running back, a 6', 195-pound junior. The wide receiver tandem is Wes Shirk and Tate Fonts. Both are, one's a senior. Shirk is a senior. Fonts is a junior. And then Noah Junker, also a sophomore tight end. He's the lone sophomore among this starting core for Aplington Parkersburg, which will feature Parker Mulder, Eli Penn, Sam Monroe, Mason Kopp, and Brandon Adrian across the front line, left to right. And Aplington Parkersburg will counter with a 4-4 defensive alignment tonight. So looking forward to that. Actually, correction, be a 5-3 defensive alignment for Aplington Parkersburg. And they're meeting out there at center field with the coin toss. As we're set to get this one underway, it'll be Grundy Center winning the toss. They will elect to receive the football, they will go east to west or right to left as we look at it tonight on your screen. Hopefully you're watching us here on YouTube, and we're set to get this one underway tonight here on 94.3 FM, KDAO, Marshalltown, or Grundy Center, and 1190 AM, KDAO, and 103.7 FM, Marshalltown, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube. Terrific night here on this final Friday night of August. Right now, we're looking at a little bit overcast, guys, but 78 degrees. Wind should not be much of a factor tonight. It's straight out of the south at 5 miles per hour, so it's blowing from the home side of the field to the visitor side of the field here tonight. And the temperature right now is at 78 degrees. Very, very good. Next week it's supposed to get really hot once again, but enjoy this while we can take it here on a Friday night.
Yeah, it feels like it's a little bit flipped around, right? Usually the first football Friday you would think would be the hottest, right, of all the football Fridays, but it doesn't always work out like that. Once we get in September, we'll feel that heat a little bit more, but I hope you fans are ready. This is 2 local area teams now being a part of Radio On The Go Sports. AP has been followed, from KLMJ and Radio On The Go for a while now, and we've covered Grundy Center for a long time and covered their state championships and all of their state tournament appearances at the Unidome for quite a while now, so this is kind of a perfect blend of seeing AP and Grundy Center for our first game of the year, and excited to get this one kicked off.
Zach Fodd's his first game, debuting as Aplington Parkersburg's head coach. Of course, he led West Marshall to a state championship as the starting running back and also an all-state linebacker for head coach Ken Winkler's team back in 1999. He's also had some coaching experience at Coe College in Cedar Rapids as an assistant coach. Went on 1 year and coached it to Akron Westfield, way out in western Iowa, and then spent the last several years rebuilding the Bondurant-Farrar program, in which Ken Winkler was his longtime assistant. After he stepped down, and here's the kickoff. It'll be fielded there by Gertis. He'll let that one go into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. No return on that, so Grundy Center will take the ball with no return here, and we'll see the offense for the first time this season here for Grundy Center. So again, Ethan Meester will get his first snap at quarterback. It is the first time in a number of years under Coach Travis Zajac that a senior quarterback is starting, but it's a senior quarterback that did not start the previous season. That's an important distinction because, of course, Judge Jarosky was a senior quarterback a year ago, and before he became the starter, Yoder, their starter from 4 years prior, had started the previous year as well. So that's an important distinction here for Grundy Center. They'll start with a shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Handoff will be right up the middle here. Looks like that's going to go to Grundy Center. Gertis, the ball carrier. It's a gain of 4 on first down there for the Spartans. That's a good first down carry.
Yeah, and you mentioned before in the pregame, Hayden Gertis and Cooper Keller, they're going to be a big 1-2 punch at the running back spot. Gertis is a senior. Looks like he's probably going to be considered the RB1, but expect Cooper Keller to be right up with him in terms of touches probably tonight and throughout the year.
So now it's going to be second down. Call it 6 yards to go here for the Spartans for the 24-yard line. Here's the snap out of the gun. Meester rolls it out, throws first pass of the night, and it's incomplete. Intended over there on the far side of the field for Carson Lobby. That pass just thrown a little bit high. Lobby unable to bring it in. And that brings up third down.
Yeah, and that was just a simple play call, and it was designed to get the ball out of Meester's hands relatively quick. It was just a snap, roll out to the right, get it out to the flat, and hoping for a first down. But throw, like you said, just a little bit high, maybe catchable, but through the hands and ends up incomplete.
Good second down play right there because now you got a chance to come back and pick it up here, although now you're going to need the full 6 yards to keep this drive alive. Twin receivers to the near side, twins to the far side, though they're split on the far side. Back to pass, 2-step drop, throws it in a flat. That ball is caught. Gertis has got it, 30-yard line, out to the 35-40, run out of bounds. Just shy of the 45-yard line. They're going to actually mark him out at about the 46-yard line. That's a good gain for Grundy Center. Breaks up the first down of the year for the Spartans.
Yeah, and that might be something this year that we maybe didn't address, but just seeing it in action, we should kind of raise eyebrows that the passing game throughout the running backs could definitely be a huge factor kind of going throughout this year. They have really talented backs with Keller and Gertis. We talked about them a little bit, hyped them up. but expect them to be active in that passing game as well, especially from some screens, just getting out in the flat, getting open, and getting in space.
21-yard gain. They'll mark it out at the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 right there for the Spartans as they're close to midfield. They're going to fake they will give the handoff to Gertis. Looked like they're going to fake it, but opted to do it at the last minute. It did not fool Aplington Parkersburg. They were right there and made the tackle on the spot. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and a loss on the play for the Spartans.
Yeah, and the way that play developed, it definitely seemed like, you're kind of right, it seemed like a read option of sorts, and Meester just made the wrong decision and ended up handing it off to the back. So that's something that is going to kind of have to that will improve over time, is being able to read what the decision is. What is the read? Do I need to hand it off? Do I need to keep it? If Meester would have kept that, he had that whole right side open and probably would have gained a lot of positive yards.
Mason Cott made the stop. Here's 2nd down, 13 now for Grundy Center. Meester, quick throw out into the flat. Caught once again on the far side. Broken tackle down the far sideline. Inside the 30, 25. He's going to outrun the defense and score. It's a touchdown for Grundy Center for 55 yards out. And just like that, the Spartans are on the board with the early score.
Well, and again, that is the exact same play you saw for the 1st down with Hayden Geertis. It was drawn up the exact same. Only difference was it was on the opposite side versus the left side. They go to the right side. They have Geertis in the backfield. They kind of just send him out, kind of go up 5 yards to the right, just go out into the flat, get some open space. He breaks one tackle, and then he just rides the sideline all the way to the end zone. And you can just tell right out of the gate, they're getting the ball out of the hands of Meester really, really quick. It is one read, let it go, get your guys out in space, let them make plays, and a big play right there.
And Cooper Keller will have it teed up now for the extra point attempt. Ball is on the way, and that kick is good. And with 10:14 to go opening quarter, it's Grundy Center scoring on the first drive of the night. Spartans lead at 7-0 over Aplington Parkersburg. More to come after this from Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg on Radio On The Go Sports.com.
Greenbelt Bank and Trust.
Offices in Iowa Falls, Ackley, Grundy Center, Eldora, Belmont, and Parkersburg. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Greenbelt Bank and Trust. Small town, big hearts.
Leading the way.
When your air conditioner, furnace, or plumbing fails, call Lawns Plumbing and Heating. For over 30 years, Lawns Plumbing and Heating in Rhinebeck has handled all your plumbing, air conditioning, and heating needs. Lawns Plumbing and Heating, your trusted local experts for more than 30 years.
In Ziering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for high-speed fiber internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. At Hardin County Savings Bank, every time you use your HCSB debit card, local schools benefit. Help support school activities, events, and programs in our communities. Sign up for HCSB Cash for Schools today. Napa Farmers Feed and Supply in Rhinebeck is your local source for auto repair, tire repair, oil changes, and on-the-farm tire service. Call 319-788-2000.
Stupid.
Ethan Meester will kick it off here for Grundy Center. So that is something that the Spartans are doing that they did a year ago with Judge Jarofsky. The quarterback kicks off, but they have another player kick the PAT as Cooper Keller did. 7-0 the score here. Grundy Center scoring on a 55-yard scoring pass. Here's a nice return for Aplington Parkersburg. Take it back there deep, but that return is going to be plugged up and stopped about the 25-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 right there, and that's where the Spartans will start their first drive of the season, facing 1st and 10.
Falcons will have 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
So again, Aplington Parkersburg under the guidance of first-year head coach Zach Fonts will bring their offense out for the first time tonight. Again, the quarterback is Harrison Schultz. He's a 6'4", 175-pound junior. Only one sophomore among the starting unit here for Aplington Parkersburg. And they'll line it up now. Traditionally, they are a run-first team and have always played that way, so we'll see what kind of offense Zach Fonts has. He played in a run-first type offense at West Marshall. We know that. Man starts in motion, far side, high snap. It is hauled down. There's a handoff in the end around, and it's going to result, it looks like it'll lost the play. There may have been a fumble in the play. Grundy Center's got the football. Falcons turn it over on their first snap of the night, and Grundy Center will take over 1st and 10. They've got the football at their own, at the Aplington Parkersburg 23-yard line. Big first play right there for the Spartans.
Yeah, and I didn't quite see all of it, but like you said, I think just fumbled on the snap, right? Just right out of the gate, and ended up kind of putting the ball on the turf, or on the grass, per se, and just a good reaction from Grundy Center. They jump right on it, and they're in excellent field position to put up another touchdown right out of the gate.
Well, it was a high snap to Schultz, but it was a missed exchange because of the high snap. So, yeah, it was definitely the problem with the snap from the first play from scrimmage. Man starts in motion here for Grundy Center. Ethan Meester back in the shotgun formation. He'll hand that one off to Gertis. Gertis goes straight ahead. That hole's going to be plugged immediately right there. No gain on the play for Gertis. Maybe lost a half yard. And it's going to be second down now for the Spartans here. Again, in Falcon territory, leading 7-0.
Yeah, and just with that play that you saw and that other play on the other drive where Meester is kind of still just handing the ball off to Gertis. And what seems to me, it almost is kind of appearing like they're wanting the defense to react to a potential read option, but it looks like it's mainly always designed to get handoff to Gertis. I think this is more of a setup, seeing what they can find down the line, getting the defense to bite on a potential handoff. Then Meester will keep it, seeing if they can get some positive yards that way.
Trip receivers far side trying to set up the screen pass. So to Hayden Gertis behind the line of scrimmage, but the three guys that were supposed to block on the play got a little bit too far downfield. Aplington Parkersburg, a nice pursuit over there, makes the tackle on the far sideline, and the result is a loss of 2 yards here for the Falcons. So the line of scrimmage moves back now to the 25-yard line. First negative play of the night on the 3 passes that Gertis and Meester have hooked up on. Both 74 yards total. And now it's going to be third down and 12 from the 25-yard line. Here's the snap. 2-step drop from Meester. Flushed out of the pocket. Steps up, throws in the pocket, and it's going to be incomplete. The intended target out there was Cash Combs. But it's going to bring up fourth down now for Grundy Center. This is likely 4-down territory for the Spartans.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think with, first-time kicker of Cooper Keller, I think he's probably got enough power to be able to make it from this far, but it's just too much of a risk. You're at the 25-yard line. You're looking at probably at like a 33-yard field goal or so. This kind of makes sense coming off of the turnover. You feel confident in your defense right out of the gate. Let's go for it here. Let's see if we can maybe go end zone. I would probably anticipate this to go towards the end zone, seeing if they can score right here, right now.
This time of year, season opener, you don't want to do too much, don't want to show too much especially. There's a low snap. Meester picks it up off the turf. He's got to throw it over the middle. The ball is incomplete. It was a pass in the end zone. You're absolutely right. And Aplington Parkersburg had that one well defended right there. The intended target looked like was Cash Combs again, but it'll be a turnover on downs. Aplington Parkersburg will take over, so they survived their first turnover of the game.
Yeah, and that's a crucial stop from AP. I mean, coming off of a first play turnover, that's the only thing you can do in that situation. You have to just kind of buckle down, get on the defensive, get that ball back any way that you can, and AP is able to hold tight, almost kind of just forget about that first play. This is our first play. This is our first drive. Let's reset. Let's get our offense up and going just how we scripted it at the start of the game.
Twin receivers to the near side, and they're going to load up the backfield right there. High snap once again. Penalty flag is out for Aplington Parkersburg. It's going to be a quarterback keeper up the middle. Correction. That ball went to a handoff. Mason Prusner, the ball carrier. He'll get about 3 yards, but the flag come out right when the snap was made, and it looks like this might be against Aplington Parkersburg. It is illegal motion.
Yep.
So the Falcons have run 2 plays, lost the first snap of the game, and now they're penalized 5 yards on their second snap. So not a very good start here for the Falcons to kick off this 2026 season. Plus, they're already down 7-0 thanks to a 55-yard pass from Ethan Meester to his receiver on the night, Hayden Gertis. And then Cooper Keller had at the point after kick at the 10-14 mark. Here's a snap once again, comes to the outside. There's Brewster running the football once again, gets the outside. Good stiff on there. 30, 35, down your sideline, 40, and it's pushed out of bounds inside the 45 at about the 48-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 here for Aplington Parkersburg.
Well, that is exactly what AP needed right out of the gate. They just need something positive, something to kind of get the team energized, get some confidence going. Those last 2 plays they can completely forget about now. They can ride high off of that huge first down, getting closer into positive territory, into enemy territory, and just keep their drive going as is. And they got a really good running attack that they had last year that they're going to prioritize this year and expect that running game to continue on as normal.
Into a 6 to play here, opening quarter. 25-yard run there for Mason Prusner. One receiver far side, one to the bottom of the formation. He'll go in motion, and he'll take the handoff. Another fumble once again. And does Grundy Center have another one? Yes, they do. Yep. They recovered it again. This time it's the handoff again, went to Devin Everhart. I believe he was the guy that took the first handoff, dropped the football, and now a second turnover here for Aplington Parkersburg gives Grundy Center the football right back for the third possession of the night.
Yeah, and that's that's a really crucial mistake from the offensive AP. You come off of really two kind of bad plays out of the start, and then finally you get some really good positive yards. You got to ride high off that momentum, and then another mistake. Once is a mistake, two's a pattern, and if the mistakes keep piling up, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. So they got to kind of nip it in the bud, get a big defensive stop here, and try to get back onto the positive side of things.
1st and 10 Spartans, Falcons 43-yard line. Quick screen pass goes out to the far side. That ball's caught, and then the tackle made on the far side is Brent Aronson getting his first catch. Tackle made there by Aiden Merrill of Aplington Parkersburg, but it's a good 2-yard gain to the 40-yard line. 2nd and 8 now coming up for Grundy Center.
And for those that are watching online here on YouTube, just as a reminder, the scoreboard is incorrect. It is 7-0 with Grundy Center, not 13. So apologies about that mistake. And hopefully it will get changed eventually, whether Grundy Center scores, that we can continue on like that, or a potential change here in a second.
Part of the change is learning the system as well. So not everything perfect. Oh, and a bad snap right there from Meester. That ball's going to roll all the way back into Grundy Center territory. It's recovered by the Spartans. Looked like some miscommunication right there, and Meester was able to get back there and fall on it, but a big disaster play there for Grundy Center. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Spartans.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was just an early snap from the offensive line. It looked like Meester was not at all prepared for that snap to happen. He was kind of looking to his left, kind of making some adjustments, and that snap came when he was not paying attention at all. And before he realized it was already behind his back and had to go in and jump on the football. So you're seeing some really early mistakes out of the gate. It is week 1 after all, and it's the first quarter. You're going to see that.
Loss of 11 on the play there for Grundy Center. Now it's 1st and 10 Spartans, their own 44-yard line. Here's the handoff. They're going to give this one to Gertis. Don't do too much right here. Gertis will just find his way up close to midfield. Just barely crosses that midfield stripe. Gets into Aplington Parkersburg territory. They're going to actually mark it right at the 50. So it's a 6-yard gain, but it's 4th down here for the Spartans, and they're going to punt formation.
Yeah, and it's just that's kind of been the name of the game for both sides now. It's just mistakes on either side. AP's turned the ball over on both possessions now. And for Grundy Center, there's just been some miscommunications, some errant throws, and just mistakes. So you're just kind of seeing everybody get settled in. It's the first game of the year. It is to be expected, but you'll wonder how the rest of this first quarter goes, if they're going to clean it up. Do we got to wait till the second half? It's just a matter of who can be at a consistent level first. Most likely is going to be at least leading going into halftime.
Good punt by Meester. It's inside the 20. Got a bad angle where they're going to mark that football here for Aplington Parkersburg. Looks like it's going to be around the 25-yard line. So we can almost just rewind the tape to Aplington Parkersburg's first drive, because this is where it started. It was at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, and that's the mindset that they had last drive, and it seemed like they were able to finally overcome it after a big first down run, and then right out of the gate, right after that, another fumble, another turnover. So it's a big mental block that AP is going to have to overcome here very early. They're getting tested mentally right out of the gate. It's just a matter of calming down. Let's get some positive yardage. We don't have to get it all at once. Let's keep it with us, and let's get some positive gains.
Officially marked at the 24-yard line. They give it to Prusner here on the end around once again after another high snap, and that ball is going to be out of bounds.
He's brought down by Lobby.
Schragi makes the tackle for Grundy Center. They're going to spot that football here at the 28-yard line. So it's a gain of 4. That'll be 2nd and 6 now for the Falcons.
Gain 4 on the rush, 2nd and 6.
Yeah,
two carries and 29 yards for Prusner.
Yeah, we haven't seen a pass yet from AP, and they haven't necessarily been a strong passing team in the past. I think that's obviously just due to some of their personnel in the previous years. So we are kind of curious on, is this going to be more of a prolific passing team? Are they going to take more risk? It seems like here early, it is going to be a lot of different backs, a lot of people touching the ball on the ground, and probably some motion, probably some read options of sorts, and it's going to be a heavy offensive line battle. My offensive line versus your defensive line.
We had a first time out called right here. as Aplington Parkersburg will take the first time out. It comes at the 5:42 mark of this opening quarter. Falcons facing a 2nd and 6 from their own 28-yard line. We'll take a break. Come back with more from Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg right after this on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Did you know Partner Communications offers electrical services? From changing lights to wiring a new home, we can help. We have free estimates. You can call Partner today at 641-498-7701.
Show your school pride every time you shop with the People's Savings Bank School Pride Debit Card. Choose from AGWSR, Dyke New Hartford, or Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Every swipe helps support your local schools. Stop by any PSB location and get yours today. Member FDIC.
High-speed internet shouldn't stop at the city limits. That's why RTU has expanded reliable internet service across rural Grundy and Tama counties with Traer coming soon. Main Street, not Wall Street. Learn more at Rhinebeck.net.
Well, you might expect here in the season opener some sloppiness out there, but some signs of brilliance as well. Grundy Center leading at 7-0, scoring on their opening drive of the game, but Aplington Parkersburg already with 2 lost fumbles in this game. The first one Grundy Center was unable to capitalize on. Aplington Parkersburg trying to get control once again after stopping Grundy Center. And here's Mason Prushner again running the football. Well, he only needed about 4 yards. He's going to get 3.5. It'll be 3rd and short coming up here for the Falcons.
Dan, you bring up a good point, too, about those turnovers because they've turned the ball over twice now, and Grundy Center hasn't been able to score on either of them. Grundy Center scored on their opening drive, and 2 turnovers from AP. Grundy Center came up short, had to punt one away, and a failed 4th down conversion. So for AP, you want to clean it up, but thankfully Grundy hasn't made you pay yet. So for AP, you got to consider yourself a little bit lucky. Now it's time to capitalize 3rd and short. Let's keep the drive going.
3rd down and short. Grundy Center showing blitz right here as their quarterback Schultz in shotgun formation. He's got twin running backs to his left, and a second timeout for Aplington Parkersburg. Wow, they just called one a few moments ago. Now with 4:56 to go first quarter, they've called their second one. So we'll take another timeout. 7-0 Grundy Center. You're listening to high school football on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
High-speed internet shouldn't stop at the city limits. That's why RTU has expanded reliable internet service across rural Grundy and Tama counties with Traer coming soon. Main Street, not Wall Street. Learn more at Rhinebeck.net.
API has you covered, literally. Top quality shingles, metal, rubber, and flat roofs, roofing and siding for home, farm, and business. See the API local showroom on Highway 175 East in Eldora. Free professional inspections and estimates. API Roofing, Siding, and Gutters.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
What up in Austin Johansson back here at Ed Thomas Field. Aplington Parkersburg already has burned its 2nd timeout, facing a 3rd and 1. Short yardage situation right here. And the quarterback goes. He's got it. That's going to be Mason Brewster. It was a direct snap to Brewster. He'll score the touchdown. And that score for Aplington Parkersburg from the Falcons' 33-yard line. It is a 67-yard run for Mason Brewster. And the Falcons are 1 point away from tying this one up.
Well, and they had to call a 2nd timeout out of the gate. And we kind of were, raising a little eyebrow about it. But on that 3rd and 1, it looked like they were trying to draw him off sides for a second. Couldn't get him to draw. They called another timeout, got the play call that they wanted, and that was a brilliant job and a really good performance from the offensive line of AP, able to open up that hole. Didn't have to take it all the way outside. That's where a lot of the runs from the start have been going, all the way to the sideline, able to find a gap and just shoot it, and ton of speed from AP that time, and gone with no secondary help.
And it is Zion Ulenhop with the extra point. It is good. And that 67-yard run by Mason Brewster gives him 99 yards in this game so far on just 4 carries on the night. We're deadlocked at 7 between Grundy Center and Aplington Parkersburg. 4:46 to go. Back with more after this from Ed Thomas Field on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Colotel Fiber is connecting Iowa communities to the future. Enjoy reliable fiber internet with managed Wi-Fi, unlimited use, and no data caps. Colotel Fiber, fast, reliable, and local. Dooley Pumping and Sanitation is family-owned and offers septic pumping, drain cleaning, portable restrooms, inspections, dumpsters, and roll-offs. Dooley Pumping and Sanitation, experienced, dependable, and ready to help.
Back to the Spartans.
Zion Unilop set to kick it off after Aplington Parkersburg gets a game-tying touchdown and the extra point kick. Thanks to Mason Brewster, a 67-yard run on a direct snap to him. Here's the kickoff. It'll be fielded by Gerdes on the far sideline. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Still on his feet, and it's finally going to be brought down. Looks like just shy of the 25-yard line for the marking. Just a tad shy, and it's 1st and 10 right there for Grundy Center.
Well, and again, anybody that's watching here on YouTube, just to let you know, it is 7-7. Grundy Center and AP. That Grundy Center score is wrong. They do not have 13 points. They do have 7, as they are tied up. So, but for Grundy Center, I mean, this is a bit of, this is a bit of a tricky situation. They're tied right now, but when you look at it on the overall stat sheet, they really feel like we should at least be up by 1 touchdown. We had 2 turnovers close to the red zone that we weren't able to capitalize on. We had an opening drive touchdown. This feels like Grundy Center is in a must-respond situation now.
Twin receivers, trip receivers to the near side. Gerdes, the handoff, though, and nowhere for him to go. They've got his number called off here defensively to Aplington Parkersburg, and that's going to be a loss of 1 on the play, so it's 2nd and 11 coming up here for Grundy Center. Interesting the way these early stats are coming. Grundy Center's running game has accounted for 6 yards total out of Hayden Gerdes, a -11 from Ethan Meester because he recovered the fumbled snap that Grundy Center did recover, and then Mason Brewster has 99 yards on 4 carries. Here's a great throw. Far side is caught. Past the receiver, 35-40, and all the way down to the 43-yard line goes Grundy Center, and it's 1st and 10.
Yeah, that's Lake Schrage able to get his first reception of the game, I believe, tonight, and able to get a nice first down. And again, it's another quick read. It's just a quick snap, roll out to the right, finding his first read near the sideline, able to have the cornerback really overcommit, trying to break up that pass, left him a lot of room to be able to gain that first down.
Schrage with the reception on the far sideline, the 16 yards on the pick, on the completion, I should say. 3rd first down of the game here for Grundy Center. Here is a fake handoff. They'll throw it right back over far side. Schrage looks like again. And it's going to be Eberhardt with the tackle. This could be a 9-yard pickup. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, and that's just a play call of take what the defense gives you. The cornerbacks are lined up really high and way off of the receivers of Grundy Center. And just felt like, all right, if they're going to keep continuing to give us that much space, just take the open space, come back on a little curl route, and wait for the pass to come your way. It's a first read again from Meester. He's able to deliver it straight and fast, and he's able to pick up for a really manageable 2nd and short.
2nd and 1 to call now from the 49-yard line for Grundy Center. Fake handoff to Gerdes. Meester will keep this to himself. He's got the first down. Crossed midfield and got to that Falcon logo there at the 50-yard line. And I thought he had the first down, but now they're going to mark it right at the 50. And this is going to be, I think, a measurement, I believe. Nope, they have signaled the first down. Yeah, and the football is setting on the Aplington Parkersburg side of the 50. That's where I thought they were going to put it to begin with, but this official was still standing at the 50-yard line. So 2-yard gain by Ethan Meester on the carry. 1st and 10 here for Grundy Center. That's the 4th first down of the night for the Spartans. Here's a handoff, or a quick pass, I should say. Fake handoff. They're going to throw it to the far side. And Grant Aronson was the intended target, but it falls incomplete. 2nd down for Grundy Center.
Yeah, and you're seeing this being kind of a common denominator in the passing game for Grundy Center. It is positive to see this many attempts out of the gate, but it's a ton of first reads here for Ethan Meester. So you can tell that Coach Zajac is trying to make it simple for his first time starting quarterback for Ethan Meester. It's just a 1-read opportunity, but you got to be careful because if you're not thinking about that pass, if you're just going to go for that first read, if it gets jumped and there's a defender right there, it can be bad news.
Meester right now 6 of 9 for 101 yards passing. Here's a handoff to Gerdes. Nowhere, though, for Gerdes. Tried to pop it to the outside here. Nowhere to go. Was met by a host of tacklers right there. Looked like the guy in the initial hit was for Aplington Parkersburg, Joseph Scott, making the tackle. And it brings up a 3rd down situation now for Grundy Center. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and I think a department that AP's winning tonight is the line of scrimmage. I think on both sides, if you take away some of those turnovers, who knows what AP could have been doing throughout the run game, but it seems like defensively they got a lot of guys that are really disrupting what the offensive line is trying to do, and there's not a lot of room that is opening up, at least north and south, for Grundy Center tonight.
Meester takes the snap, rolls it out, far side, looking. Nowhere to go, lost the football. Goes right into the hands of an Aplington Parkersburg defender, and he's going to take it to the house and score. Boy, an easy touchdown fumble recovery for the score there for Aplington Parkersburg. And on that recovery, it is Mason Kopp, and the Falcons have got the lead. Now 13-7 with the extra point coming up.
Well, just a huge mistake that time for Meester as he takes a snap. He's rolling out to his right. And give him a little bit of credit. It wasn't a first read. It was more of a, let Meester kind of roll out. If he had space, take off. If he found the pass, go ahead and take it. But good on AP's defensive line. Like we just said, they're winning the line of scrimmage. They were able to get back there, disrupt some things. Meester, as soon as he had the decision to let go of the football, he was already getting contact made, and he kind of shovel passes it as he gets hit, as he was just trying to get rid of the football, but it ends up right in the hands of AP, and they got nobody in front of him to take him down. He's all the way in the end zone.
So it goes as a 50-yard interception return for touchdown because it was a shovel pass, and Ulenhop makes the extra point. And with 1:27 remaining here in this opening quarter, it's now happened to Parkersburg leading Grundy Center. 14-7 Falcons. We'll take a break. Back when we're after this on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
D&B Agrisystems has the grain storage, handling, and conditioning equipment you need. From site planning and design to installation and service, their experienced team is ready to help. Plus, preseason equipment checks help keep you running smoothly. D&B Agrisystems, ready for harvest, ready to serve you. The Eldora Hy-Vee store offers large town variety with small town friendliness. Find everything you need from fresh produce and quality meats to bakery favorites and everyday essentials. The Eldora Hy-Vee store, big selection, hometown service.
24 years of honest work and fair prices. Matt Schuyler and Jason at Eldora Tire and Alignment have the know-how to keep your vehicle running right this fall. A dealer of hand-cooked tires. That's Eldora Tire and Alignment, Highway 175 East Eldora. Experience you can trust.
So an interception return for touchdown at 50 yards. Grundy Center, his first turnover of the night. Costly for the Spartans as it flips the score the other way now. It's the Falcons with a 14-7 advantage. Here's the kickoff taken by Gertis. Far sideline at the 10-yard line. Runs it up to the 20, 25, and is pushed out of bounds on that far sideline, just shy of the 25-yard line. And that's where Grundy Center will take over now, first out at 10. 14-7 the score, 1:22 to go here in this opening quarter. Grundy Center got on the board first. First possession of the night. Hayden Gertis and Ethan Meester hooked up on a 55-yard pass. Meester to Gertis with Cooper Keller's kick, making it 7-0. Falcons fumbled away their first play of the night back to Grundy Center, who took over at the 25-yard line, failed to score in 4 plays. Then Aplington Parkersburg fumbled again. We got a penalty, I should say, and then eventually turned it over. Grundy Center couldn't capitalize, but they flipped the script right here. And now a quick pass by Meester to the far side. That is Cash Combs on the receiving end of that 5-yard pass, and a 2nd 5 coming up here now for the Spartans. 5-yard pass completion. Combs with his first reception. Football spotted now at the 29-yard line, far hash mark, and they will line up a receiver in Schragi out here on the near side. They've also got Jace Freisley out there as well on the near side. And it's going to be a keeper by Meester. He'll run it the other direction on a fake pass on the near side. And that's a good 4-yard gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and a long one here for Grundy Center.
And if you're watching with us here on Radio On the Go Sports on YouTube, sorry about the mistakes on the scoreboard there for a hot second after the Grundy Center touchdown. We do have it fixed now. Score is correct. It is 14-7. But thank you for kind of managing that with us. Got a new system. We're getting things still used to, but eventually got it figured out. But huge conversion coming up here on 3rd and 1, and it looks like a timeout's coming. The quarter's ending. Sorry, yeah.
The last final play of the game, the quarter right here is Grundy Center will be content to click off the last 14 seconds here. It's 14-7. Aplington Parkersburg leading Grundy Center here. Quarter number 1 is in the books on this opening night of the 2026 Iowa High School football season. We'll take a break. Second quarter action coming up next for Ed Thomas Field here in Parkersburg on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Ellsworth Community College is preparing students for success with affordable education and hands-on learning. Whether you're starting your college journey or preparing for a career, Ellsworth Community College is here to help you succeed. RTU doesn't just serve Rhinebeck. We've brought high-speed internet to rural Grundy and Tama counties, and we're soon going to be in Traer. Your hometown provider, growing with the community. RTU. Learn more at rhinebeck.net. Farm Bureau Financial Services offers customized coverage for your farm, machinery, livestock, and more. All in one policy, one premium, and one deductible. Contact Farm Bureau agent Kyle Blom or sales associate Justin Teesing in Rhinebeck.
That one up and off to Johansson back here at Ed Thomas Field at Parkersburg. Falcons of Aplington Parkersburg leading Grundy Center 14-7. Taking advantage of a 50-yard interception return by Ethan Meester. Here's a quick throw over the middle, and that ball broken up. It's incomplete. Pass was intended there for Cash Combs. It looked like it was Noah Junker and Aiden Merrill on the defensive end of that play. It brings up 4th and 2 here for the Spartans. This will be a punting situation now for Grundy Center.
Yeah, I will say I'm a little bit shocked about that play call. It was a 3rd and 1 situation, and they kind of go to the pass game. And you were right. It is a long one. It almost feels like maybe 3rd and 2 was a situation. But, yeah, the kind of a drag route of sorts. But AP was all over it. Give the secondary credit. And really, even if you can throw a perfect pass there, still would have been a really hard catch to make. And that's a tough conversion.
Meester will punt it away. He's got his return man out here, Wes Shirk. Shirk got to go behind him, and it's going to bounce down at about the 15-yard line. So Aplington Parkersburg initially could have had a field around the 30-yard line, but instead, because Shirk let that one get by him, probably a smart decision. They give up some field position, but they get the possession. 1st and 10 Falcons at their own 15.
Yeah, call for the fair catch and just kind of misread the catch. Kind of was over the shoulder a little bit. Put his hands on it, though, and it was a live ball. So credit him for jumping on it, keeping possession. But now a little bit longer of field to go for AP. But if you're the Falcons, you got to feel really good at where you're at now, considering how this game started. Opening play, turnover, second drive, another turnover. But defense held strong. Grundy's not able to convert and make off these opportunities, and you're able to kind of turn this game around in a big 14-7 lead here in the second quarter.
And a big throw over the middle, and it's incomplete. First pass attempt of the night there for Aplington Parkersburg. They had the receiver open downfield, but Schultz unable to hit his intended target, and that intended target out there for the Falcons was Luke Jacobson.
Yeah, you don't mind that play call at all, though, especially when the only thing wrong was just that the pass wasn't on target. The play was set up brilliantly, little pump fake, go route on the right side. He was able to beat that double coverage that he had, or at least 2 guys were able to recognize the route. And if that ball was thrown right where it needed to be, that was going to go off for 6. So you'll be okay with that, especially when you're still up a touchdown. You know that you're going to maybe have that in your back pocket to set up for later. That's A-okay with you.
Yeah, Grundy Center did that a few moments ago and got their only score of the night. Back to pass once again. Schultz flushed out of the pocket and is going to go down. Cash Combs is in the backfield and knocking down. A big loss on the play there on the quarterback's hack all the way back to the 8-yard line. Seitz defensively in there as well.
Yeah, and it wasn't the exact same play call, but it was similar, right? It was a drop back. They were looking to go deep as well. There was another route that maybe was going to be open, kind of running a post route up near that Falcons logo at midfield. But this time, Grundy Center's defensive line able to get through a little bit quicker, able to force him out of the pocket, and not able to even let him get off that pass in time. So nice response there by the defense of Grundy Center, now pinned way back for a 3rd down.
Loss of 8. It's 3rd and 18 now. Falcons with their backs to their own end zone at the 8-yard line. High snap over the head of Schultz. It's going to be picked up, though, by the running back. He'll take it out to the far side and be brought down right there as Devin Eberhardt, this time the product of getting a loose football, able to turn a negative into a positive, but it's still going to be well short of the 1st down, and the Falcons are forced to punt this one away.
Yeah, and if you're Grundy Center, you got to love how you perform there defensively. We're able to get a disruption, force the 3rd and long, able to manage. Now, ideally, you're going to get some really nice field position. I think you're expected to obviously get close to the 45-40, being able to have a really nice drive set into motion, because Grundy Center definitely feels like they have missed a big opportunity here to take some momentum. They've left a lot of points off the board, considering 2 drives off of forced turnovers in close to the red zone, close to the 25. They feel like they definitely need to have more points on the board than they have. So this is a kind of a do-or-die moment here in this first half to respond back and take back control of this game.
Spartans will get the football in good field position if they're able to hang on to it. Now a stoppage of play right here. Looks like we might have a delay of game situation.
Yeah, that was my initial thought, but it looks like it's actually just going to be a stoppage. Looks like no penalty on the field. And they are going to explain a little bit here to Coach Zajac here from the refs.
Oh, they moved the ball from the 9-yard line to the 10. That was the problem.
Just a bad spot. Yeah.
Yep. That 1 yard could make a difference. You never know. And it's a high snap, almost over the head of the punter. Brings it down with one hand and then kind of shanks it a little bit. It's going to be fielded on the far side. Just fair caught by Grundy center at the 40. Well, he initially thought he called for the fair catch, but apparently did not. Gets a couple yards return to the 43-yard line. So a 2-yard return there for Grundy center, but the Spartans have it in Aplington Parkersburg territory, facing a first down and 10.
Yeah, and this offense, this has looked a little bit shaky for Grundy Center at the start. Obviously, that first drive, they had the big play that busted open on that right side, but everything since then, it feels just maybe a step slow. Just some guys that don't look necessarily as comfortable as you might want to be here in the first game of the season. So feels like AP's winning the line of scrimmage, and that's something that Grundy Center prides himself on, is winning the line of scrimmage, always getting room to run. So this is a department that Grundy Center wants to change on this drive, get some positive motion, and be a methodical, typical Grundy Center drive and get this into the end zone.
Twins low, one top. Meester will keep it on an option play all the way. It was going to be his completely to the far side of the field. He runs, and he'll get about 5 yards, get forward progress inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. No, they're going to mark it down right at the 40, so it's about a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought he got a little bit more than that as well.
A little shielded over here for that far sideline, but it is a 3-yard gain. Positive yardage for Grundy Center. Meester now -2 rushing on the night, but it does bring up second down. We'll call it 7 yards to go here for the Spartans from the 40-yard line in Aplington Parkersburg territory. Twin receivers to the bottom of the formation. Meester barks it out from the shotgun formation. Handoff is going to go to Hayden Gertis. Runs right into a brick wall. Aplington Parkersburg's defense standing strong right there. Gertis was hit right at the line of scrimmage and actually lost a yard on the play. So now it's going to be 3rd down and 8. Call it 3rd and 9 for Grundy Center, or a short 8. And they're going to mark it right at the 41-yard line. So it will be 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, that's kind of been the name of the game on the defensive side for AP. They're winning that line of scrimmage, and it just continues. And there has not been a lot of room for Gertis at all in that backfield. He's been the primary back so far tonight, but he has just had nowhere to go between his guards and tackles. AP has just been clogging up those holes, and there's nowhere for him to run.
Spartans 1 of 3 on 3rd down conversions. Meester will fake the handoff. He'll run it out himself. Scramble his way forward. He's got the first down. Did I see a flag fall on the far side? I did not. It might, if something was thrown on the Grundy Center sideline. From this angle, it looked like a flag, but he's got the first down, does Meester, to the 32-yard line. So a good run there for Ethan Meester, scrambling for the first down.
Yeah, and that's just something I think over time Ethan Meester is going to continue to get better and better at, is his use of the run game. I think his decision-making is still something that's going to be improved upon over time. When is it time to tuck and run? When is it time for me to do it myself? And that time it was the right call. He had space. He took it himself, able to make one guy miss and reach forward and get the first down.
Twins to the near side, Twins to the bottom. This time it's Gertis to the left of Meester. Tries to run. Aplington Parkersburg again blowing up that Grundy Center offensive line. In the backfield, it's going to be a loss of about 4 on the play to the 45 or 44-yard line. Looks like they'll mark it down at the 44-yard line. It was Cooper Keller, actually, the tailback running that time, not Gertis. So it's a loss of 3 back to the 35-yard line. First run of the night there for Cooper Keller, and it results in negative yards.
Yeah, and again, similar story. Like you said, defensive line just taking over in terms of this run game. Grundy's not going to find anywhere to go and any success if that offensive line doesn't start getting some pushback.
And now some miscommunication right here, movement all over the place for Grundy Center and for Aplington Parkersburg. That's going to be the first penalty of the night, whistle against Grundy Center, and only the second penalty of the night in this game so far. 7:42 to go in the first half. Grundy Center facing a 2nd and 18 now for the Aplington Parkersburg 40-yard line. And a 14-7 Aplington Parkersburg lead here on this opening night of the 2026 season. It's 78 degrees at game time. Skies are, I said earlier, they're a little bit overcast. It's more of a hazy type clear night. Meester back to pass. Oh, May got away with a hold in the backfield at Grundy Center. Meester rolled it out and then completed the pass upfield. And it's going to be Lobby on the receiving end of that pass. He's out of bounds by Merrill, and it's going to bring up fourth down at the 36-yard line. A 4-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, and it's just a minimal gain, and it's still a pretty big third and long situation. So you have to imagine it's going to be put in the air again for Meester in this Grundy Center offense. They haven't had any success run-wise. Too close to punt it away and too far for a field goal, so you got to go first down.
Punt. A pass. Lobby the intended target on the far side. Broken up by Jacobson. Will bring up fourth down now for Grundy Center, and it is going to be decision time here for Coach Travis Zajac and his staff.
Well, and it kind of feels like an easy decision, right? It's just kind of what I said before. Kind of a no man's land. You're too close to punt the football away. Once you're kind of past that 40-yard line, definitely too far to try a field goal. So really got no choice. You got to kind of just go for this fourth and long. It's not ideal, but you got to at least go for that first down marker and see what you can get.
Twins each out of the formation right here. It looks like it is Keller in the backfield next to quarterback Meester. He'll take the snap, look to throw over the far sideline. That ball was caught initially and then dropped. It was on target, and it was intended for Lake Schrage. And so Grundy Center turns it over on downs back to Aplington Parkersburg as they fail to convert on a fourth down play for the second time tonight.
Yeah, and the big takeaway so far, there's still about 7 minutes left in this first half, but that run game needs to improve here for Grundy Center. That is where it's really hurting this offense. They want to have the run game be their primary focus and have the passing game to complement it, but it's being flipped. It seems like the passing game is going to have to be the primary focus, at least of how it's going right now, and they have not been able to kind of live up to that call. And so far, AP's had control of this game ever since that first touchdown, and they're rolling.
Harrison Schultz hands it off there to Devin Eberhardt with a short gain. Just what the fullback wants to do on first down. Only wants to grind out a couple 3 yards there, and he got that. They'll give him a gain of about 2, so it'll be second and, they'll give him 3. It's going to be 2nd and 7 coming up, so they're going to mark him down at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, and this gives you options here if you're AP. I mean, if you're AP, you probably just want to keep it on the ground, right? You're in control of this matchup, still kind of backed up near your own territory. See what you can get here positive-wise on a second down, and if push comes to shove, you can put it in the air, see if you can get a first down, but I'd definitely expect to keep this on the ground, read option of sorts, and see if they can pick up the first.
Another high snap right there, and the handoff kind of blows up the timing, but the handoff is going to result in a couple yards inside the 40 to the 41-yard line. It's Eberhardt again with the carry, and it's going to be 3rd and 5 coming up here for the Falcons.
Yeah, and it's a tough call here, right? Do you keep this on the ground? Is it fourth down territory, right? If you get within 2, 4th and 2, 4th and 1, is it worth it to go for it? Do you trust your defense, giving Grundy another possession? So far, they've looked up to the part, so if you're just going off this game alone, I think AP would be willing to go for it on a 4th and short, so they can keep this on the ground.
This is a drive here where Aplington Parkersburg like nothing better than to just grind out the clock. They're going to throw it deep downfield. That ball's going to be overthrown, however, and it's incomplete. Intended target out there for the Falcons was Wes Shirt. He was well defended on the play by Carson Lobby, and now it is 4th down. Looks like the Falcons will punt it away.
Yeah, and I don't mind the play call there. I mean, it's a 3rd and 5, got it backed up in your own territory. Let's see if we can take a shot downfield, and if it's complete, we're absolutely rolling. We're going towards the end zone. If it's incomplete, we're close enough where we can pin them somewhat deep. We've loved the way our defense has looked on that front 7 anyway, and so I think they're comfortable taking a punt here. Pin them deep and let their defense continue to do what they've done tonight.
Kingston Holman in punt formation for the Falcons, standing back at his own 29-yard line. Deep man for Grundy Center. Looks like to be Carson Lobby. He's going to let that one go. That punt's going to go inside the 15 and out of bounds right there as it just hit the 15 and they rolled directly out of bounds. So that's where Grundy Center takes over. First down and 10. Spartans trailing 14-7 with 5.5 minutes to play in a fast-moving first half here tonight in Parkersburg. As you might imagine, great crowd at hand for this one, too.
Awesome. I mean, Grundy Center's crowd is like absolutely packed on that side, and in typical Grundy Center fashion, they got a lot of guys standing on the outside near the fence. I think AP's got some guys over there on the side. They pull up their lawn chairs. So these are two fan bases, too, very similar in terms of their passion and the way that they respond to football and all athletics. They just remind me, they're just very similar on a lot of accounts on how they show support for their fan bases. So it's great that this is the first game of the season.
First down and 10 here for the Spartans from the 15-yard line. And it's a throw by Meester. Far side, jukes a tackle, and it's going to be a first down to the 30 to about the 32-yard line. And a great catch right there on the receiving end is Chase Frisley. And it's first and 10 here for the Spartans. A tackle made by Devin Everhart of Aplington Parkersburg.
Well, if you notice, too, at that formation, it was 4 wide. They put 3 receivers on the right, 1 to the left. So I think this might be a little quick in-game adjustment here for Grundy Center. We'll see if they do it again. Yes, they will. So if you can see out there, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That's a little bit different. They went with just the 1 on each side in terms of wide receiver formation, try to beef up the line, but looks like they're going to go a little bit more of a spread, see if they can get more secondary involved, and look what that opens up in the run game, right down the middle.
Yeah, Hayden Gertis, the ball carrier, is going to get the first down. A big run there from the 30-yard line to the 44. Another big run there covering 14 yards. And it's first and 10 once again for Grundy Center. They're 7th of the first half.
And this is exactly why Grundy Center won 50 games in a row. Because if something goes wrong, they are not ones to keep trying and trying again as something that won't work. They realize what they were doing, what they had planned is not working. Let's switch up the formation call. Let's spread out. Let's put more secondary guys up there. Let's kind of loosen up their defensive line, and let's see what we can open up in the passing and run game.
They tried this one again, but this time Gertis was stopped right at the line of scrimmage. We got an injured Falcon out there. Looks like Leighton Kopp,
Met by Everhart.
believe is the injured Falcon. So an injury timeout here, the first of the night. Actually, we have this Tanner Larson, if I'm looking at the number right. It's going to bring up a second down and 9. They will give Lobby a gain of 1 on the play. So he's got 9 carries, unofficially 19 yards so far in this game tonight. Ethan Meester well over the 100-yard mark passing the football. Both these teams look very good tonight for an opening night after after the sloppiness there to start the ball game.
Yeah, and especially defensively, and I can't say enough about AP defensively of how they've looked on that defensive line. They have really stepped up, but now, I know there's a little bit of a break in the action, but Grundy Center had some momentum there, kind of I was saying before. They switched up their formation. They're going with more of a wide receiver set instead of putting some extra guys in the offensive line. It's like, let's switch it up. Let's spread everybody wide, and the reason that they're doing that is because they want more guys on the defensive side for AP to be smaller. They want them to be the secondary. Put more of your secondary out there and have to force them to cover the receivers versus putting them inside, and so that way they can just have less numbers inside the box. They're giving up some blockers on the inside, but in return, they're making it so that way it's not as beefy, it's not as tough inside, and it might be a little bit easier for that offensive line to find some holes. So it's just going to rely on AP. How are they going to respond? Are they going to maybe send a corner blitz? Are they going to pressure more? Are they going to say, we're just going to go one-on-one on the outside, maybe no safety help? Are we just going to beef up that front 7? How is AP going to respond, and how are they going to stop this run game now?
It was Henry Buss who was shaking it up. He's limping his way off the field, but we're set to get going now once again. There's a quick screen pass in the backfield, and it's just thrown out in front of Hayden Gertis. So now it brings up 3rd and 9 here for Grundy Center.
Yeah, timing was just a little bit off on that. It's a simple just kind of dump off to Gertis, and they've had some success with that play from time to time, but just not a good timing connection on that one. Just kind of threw it out in front of him a little bit, whether Gertis ran the route wrong in terms of needed him to come up a little bit more or just an errant throw by Meester.
So second down, 9-yard line. Ball is spotted between the hash marks here at the 45-yard line. Spartans will send 2 receivers to the top of the formation and twin split to the bottom half. Gertis low and step back in the backfield. Fake handoff to him. Blitz is on. Meester runs out of the pocket. He'll keep it and run and be brought down at the 46-yard line. After all, that's just a gain of 1. But it's 4th and 8 coming up here for Grundy Center.
Yeah, and the way that the offense has been going, I mean, this feels like a must-punt situation, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. They didn't gain the positive yards that they had. And credit AP, again, for putting some good defensive performance, forced them in a 3rd and long, kind of an obvious pass situation. No one was able to get open. Defensive line disrupted it before Meester could find a decision that he liked, and he tried to take it up the middle, but AP was all over it, swarmed him, and nowhere to go.
So on a punt to football right now, it is Ethan Meester, the quarterback. Ooh, that's going to be a straight up. That's not a very good punt. It's going to bounce at about the 26-yard line, then take a Grundy center roll inside the 20, be down at about the 19-yard line. Boy, that punt, the way it was bailed out right there after it hit the turf. Grundy center is just fortunate that there was no return on that because that ball went almost straight up in the air and came straight down.
Yeah. Looked like the ball, when he hit it, he didn't hit the heart of the football. Looked like it kind of came down to the point. So it seemed like his foot hit the point of the football and shot straight up versus trying to get it more direct.
14-7 Aplington Parkersburg. Plenty of time for the Falcons now as they take possession at their own 19-yard line. 1st and 10 with 3:16 remaining here in this second quarter. Halftime tonight. We'll have a report coming up for you from some area action. Here's a handoff up the middle and a nice run of about 10 yards right there for Aplington Parkersburg.
And what's nice for AP is the time on the clock. There's about 3 minutes. This is plenty of time for AP to kind of run their offense as they see fit. There's nothing that they necessarily have to hurry up. They can kind of just keep going as is, and if everything kind of goes perfect, they can maybe put 6 points on the board and leave very, very little time for Grundy, or maybe all of it.
Devin Eberhardt looked like was the ball carrier that time, so 1st and 10 for Aplington Parkersburg. They'll spot the football between the hash marks right at the 30-yard line. Twin receivers, each side of the formation, back to pass Schultz. Throws it over the middle. Ball is caught, and he's going to be stopped right there. Just as soon as contact was made. That catch was made there by Devin Eberhardt, but no gain on the play. That's the first pass completion of the 3 attempts tonight for Aplington Parkersburg, but it results in no gain.
Yeah, just a simple dump off for AP there, and obviously hoping that the linebackers weren't going to be able to swarm him right away, but just came right up on him, nowhere to go, gain for 1 yard, and we'll see if AP is willing to put this in the air. This is a tough decision because they definitely want to put more points on the board. About 2 minutes left. Might be their last time to touch the football this half. We'll see if they'll get a little bit aggressive here in the air.
Hand off on the end around to Brewster. He'll stutter step his way past Grundy's center defender and then try to cut it upfield, but nothing there for him to go. And there's a timeout on the field, and it's going to be Grundy center taking the timeout. Spartans feel like they can get the football back with 1:53 to go. Down 14-7 here, playing on the road in the season opener at Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg. Falcons facing a 3rd and 9 when we come back after this on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
This is Ben Ferris from Ferris Insurance Agency, your local American Family Insurance agent. We offer home, auto, and life insurance through American Family. We serve Iowa Falls, Eldora, and the surrounding counties. Find us across from Hy-Vee in Iowa Falls or on Highway 175 in downtown Eldora.
Gallagher Insurance Risk Management and Consulting is a leading global insurance brokerage and consulting firm. Visit Gallagher at 11 East Church Street in Marshalltown or call 641-752-4618.
G&B Bank is a proud supporter of Grundy Center and surrounding communities. Count on your hometown team at G&B Bank for protection and all your customized banking needs. G&B Bank is there when you need them. G&B Bank, member FDIC, banking you can count on.
Going up in Austin Johansson, glad to be back with you tonight here from Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg. 14-7 Falcons facing a 3rd and 8 from their own 30-yard line now after the Grundy center timeout. Here's a handoff up the middle and nowhere for Brewster to go. He's going to get a short gain up to the 36-yard line, but it's going to be 3rd and about 5 for Aplington Parkersburg, and it may be a punt situation here for the Falcons.
Yeah, and Grundy did call their second timeout as well. And this is more just a timeout to stop the clock. He might not discuss. Okay, he is calling them in for a quick conversation. It looked like everybody was kind of standing out there and we're just going to get prepared, but he is calling them in, having a brief discussion about this punt return. And I would have to imagine AP is going to punt this away. I mean, there's really a no-brainer. Got a one-score lead, backed up on your own 35. Your defense has played well. Let's punt this ball away. Trust your defense to get us into half with the lead.
Mason Brewster right now just 5 carries, 104 yards on the night. Kind of tells the story right there. The biggest play of the night for Aplington Parkersburg was a 67-yard run from Brewster that, with the extra point, tied the game, and then the interception return at the 127 mark of the first quarter by Mason Kopp, covering 50 yards. That point after a kick put the Falcons up 14-7 after the Spartans scored on their opening drive themselves on a long touchdown play. So here comes the punt now from Aplington to Parkersburg, and boy, he's going to get past Lobby. He's going to run back, get it near the 25-yard line. Nice return on the far sideline. Schrage on the return. Let's see, they're going to mark him out, it looks like about the 32-yard line. Yep, about the 32-yard line. So Grundy Center will operate right there, 1st and 10 from their own 32 with a minute 38 to go.
Yeah, and this is a tricky kind of 2-minute drill here from Grundy Center because this is not mid-season. This is not, we know what we're doing. We're executing on all levels. They have struggled here offensively. And, in a regular 2-minute drill, maybe in the third or fourth season or third or fourth game, this might look a little bit different. But don't expect this to be kind of chuck it deep and be an exploration in the playbook. This is going to be simple. They're going to try to be methodical and see if they can get this close to the end zone.
A short pass play complete on the far sideline, but very short, only covering about 3 yards.
And they're going to go hurry up. They have to. They only have one timeout left, and they can't go, and they weren't able to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Caught by Schrage on the far sideline. About 3 yards there for Schrage. Only his second completion of the night. And another pass completion there. The Schrage again on the receiving end.
22.
Lobby,
yeah.
makes the catch. So now it's going to be 3rd down and 3. So that's a gain of 4 on the play.
Oh!
And nice catch on the far sideline.
A huge hit. It is a 1st down.
But Aronson comes up with a catch on that far sideline, and it's going to be 1st down.
And clock is running. 45 seconds and counting to go here.
Another 4-yard gain. Aronson on the receiving end. That's his 3rd catch of the night. Back to Passmeister on 1st down. Throws it this one over the middle. That ball was deflected and nearly intercepted. Wow. Intended target out there for Grundy Center was Cash Combs, but it was Aiden Merrill. We've called his name several times tonight.
It's a flag.
There is a flag. Yes, there is.
Holding.
Well, Aplington Parkersburg will accept that penalty then, because it means deeper field position for Grundy Center to drive, and the clock showing just 35 seconds to go here in this first half, and the Falcons up 14-7.
Yeah, still a lot of territory, and Grundy hasn't shown you much offensively to prove that they can gain this many yards in this short amount of time. So AP is going to feel pretty confident. I expect maybe some blitzes getting shown their way, trying to get a big defensive stop.
3 receivers near side. Here's the handoff. Nothing to go there for Gertis. He stopped and dropped. Line of scrimmage was at the 44-yard line. He's going to be dropped back at the 33. And that's another big loss of the play.
Yeah, and they do have one timeout left, but they're still back into enemy territory. It looks like Grundy is just going to run this out, and AP is not going to able to stop him.
There's really a loss of 2. They didn't put the 10-yard penalty on the scoreboard, so Gertis losing 2 on his 10th carry of the night. He's got 10 carries and 17 yards in the first half, and as the teams clear the field here to head to the locker room at halftime, it's happened to Parkersburg with the momentum halfway through this season opener. Falcons leading Grundy Center by a score of 14-7. We'll take a break. When we come back, we have a halftime report for you, and then we'll come back. We'll recap the first half of this one tonight from Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg. You're listening to high school football in this 2026 season opener on 94.3 FM, Grundy Center, KDAO, 1190 AM and 103.7 FM in Marshalltown. And you're listening to us also on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Hanson Family Hospital is your home for healthcare in Hardin County. From convenient family care and specialists close to home to 24/7 emergency care, Hanson Family Hospital is committed to providing compassionate, quality healthcare for you and your family. Hanson Family Hospital, care close to home.
J&T Plumbing and Heating is ready to help with your home or business. From plumbing repairs and drain cleaning to heating, furnace, and air conditioning service, J&T Plumbing and Heating, keeping you comfortable year-round. Welcome to our Radio on the Go Sports Halftime Show. Tonight on the Halftime Show, we've got an interview with Grundy Center Volleyball Coach Lori Willis and Colonesco Volleyball Coach Riley Purvis. So let's get right to those interviews and get you back to your football game.
you got the wins last night, and of course, in the world of the media and the fans, sometimes that's all we care about are the wins. And I know those are very important. It looks like Waverly Charlotte pushed you a little bit, but Coach, okay, even if you have a lot of experience, like I think you do this year, were there still some things you were looking for and some things that pleased you beyond the final scores last night, Coach? The scores were important. Were there some things you and your coaches were focused on last night?
Well, first and foremost, we are just working on our first contacts, our pass and serve. And for the most part, we served really well. Passing is definitely an area where we need to improve in our serve receive. But, obviously we did well enough to get it to our outsides, and they were able to put that ball away. But I would like to we're really heavy loaded in our offense. And so we want to make sure that we're getting that ball to the net so that we can have all hitters firing. We're focusing on our block and defense. And last night we were really super scrappy, which was fantastic. And then that's Waverly was too. It was really hard to get a ball down. You thought it was down, and all of a sudden they're bringing it right back. So that was a really fun match because we had a lot of long rallies. So I was glad to see that we were in shape enough to handle those long rallies as well.
Now, Coach, I understand you only have a couple of days of practice. It's always interesting to me, and you kind of alluded to a lot of things there. After you've seen the girls play, a couple of times, does practice change now? I mean, do you go back on Thursday and Friday and work on anything in particular from the other night as you get ready for the Saturday thing, please, Coach, if that makes sense?
Yeah, we're still going to hit our serve receive pretty hard, and then also just some setter hitter connections to make sure that we're working on that, and a little different traffic patterns that we still need to kind of iron out as well. And then just, getting just a lot of reps and touches and just making sure that we're getting better every day.
Coach, you mentioned top heavy as far as the offense. Does that mean balance, Coach? I mean, do we just have more than one or two girls out there, please, Coach?
Yeah, no, we are very, very balanced. Last year we had to rely on Ryan a lot. But this year we are very balanced, and anybody can put the ball away, and we have a lot of firepower. It's just we have a lot of really strong offensive girls.
Coach, could you take me behind the scenes a little bit? You talked about that defense and scrappy. You hear coaches say that a lot. And I don't know, Coach, in the world of volleyball, the keys to being a good defensive team, I don't know if it's plays, I don't know if it's communication or scrappiness. Are there just a lot of little things that basically come from the girls, from effort, starting with effort, to be a good defensive team, Coach, whether it's blocking or digging, please, Coach?
Yeah, well, I truly believe that every defense starts with the block because they're the first line of defense. So we need to make sure that we put up a solid block, and then our defenders need to make sure that they're outside of block, not hiding behind the block, and our feet stopped. That is the basics of defense. Obviously, you want to be in the correct position, which we're kind of have to tweak and adjust a little bit there. And then it's all about pursuing the ball, getting your nose in there, pursuing that ball, and getting it up.
Coach, finally, may I ask you a question that really has nothing to do with stats and things like that? And as you mentioned, you have an experienced team. Does that mean, Coach, that the chemistry, like right away, is good? The chemistry, the communication, is that something that can always get better? They say that's super important in volleyball. Because of experience, Coach, do we have pretty good chemistry already on the court or not?
We do have great chemistry on the court. One thing that I saw last night is we're playing pretty free. And when you play free, that means you're in a good spot. You are connected with your teammates, and you're trusting your teammates to do their job so that you can do your job, and you don't have to overwork or do anything. They enjoy each other a lot. We work heavy on that chemistry because the sweet spot is making sure that we have high connection and then high accountability.
Okay, Lori, listen,
First game of the year for you guys and see how the girls played.
First game of the year, definitely we had to make some adjustments. We had some stuff come within the first week of practice, so there are definitely girls playing positions they never would have expected, but honestly, they looked great tonight. They looked confident, they looked comfortable. They were just running all around the court, making big plays that we sometimes didn't make last year. And the biggest thing is them coming together after having, the other team is going on like a scoring run, and we finally have dug ourselves out of holes that we could have done last year. And there's a lot of growth this year that I've seen from them, especially in this first game from last season to this season.
Then it sounded like there was a lot more communication on the court. I could hear the girls talking a lot.
Yeah, that is one of my biggest things this season. I told them last year, I said, you guys talk all the time when we're in the van. I said, then you get here and you're quiet. I said, I know you guys can talk. I said, I know you love talking. So, yeah, that's been our biggest thing. I'm like, if I can hear myself over you in practice, that's one of our biggest things is like, you guys aren't loud enough. We play really loud music. I'm like, if I can hear the song over you. So we found different ways where they can really be loud and communicate. And that was one of the big things I wanted them to grow is noticing where's the setter setting it? Is it a tip? All of that stuff, kind of really growing that IQ from last season. My first year coming in, having to plan everything in a month to I'm actually able to prepare and kind of find those goals from last season that I really want to focus on this season for the girls, and they've done an amazing job.
Did Peyton maybe surprise you a little bit with some of their height? Some of those girls, were they surprising?
They definitely did. I heard they had a bunch of girls come in. 3 of them were transfer ins. They didn't have them last season, and yeah, a lot of the girls looked at me and they were like, man, they're really tall. And I said, just because they're tall, it doesn't matter. I said, we're small, but we're scrappy. I said, you guys hustle. You guys put your hearts out there every time you play. I said, just because they're tall doesn't mean they're better than you. And I really do think the girls show that they can hang in, even though we're not the tallest team you may see, but we're pretty scrappy.
It always seemed like you kind of got within 1 point and then they'd go on a little bit of a run.
And I think it was huge for the girls to realize that was kind of our biggest downfall last season is I think we would go on some of those runs and then the other team would, and we kind of would get down and defeated, and we couldn't figure out a way to get out of that. And again, like the girls had come together so well, and all of these runs, I told them, I said, you guys could have done this last year. And I said, don't know what happened, but this year, like, you guys are really coming together. You're really figuring things out as a team, and just you're stepping up in big moments, and you can do it is my biggest thing that I tell them this year.
And do you want to maybe see them attack more on offense, or you kind of play a lot of defense?
Yeah, I would love to see some more attacks, but obviously we have girls that are playing positions that they really have never played before, other than our 2 middles and then our 1 outside, Landry Harris. But other than that, our other 2, Julie and Veda, like Julie was our libero last year. Veda's a freshman, kind of getting them comfortable in those positions because they have made very huge plays for us. And then Hope, obviously, being our setter, love to see her attack more, but she does set it up really well for our hitters. So.
And then as you go into a big tournament on Saturday.
Yes, we do. I'm really excited. This is a good start for us to go into Saturday. Playing some pretty good competition up there. All of the girls are not excited about the drive, but it'll be a good competition for us. And I always say when we go to these tournaments and we play some of these schools that we don't see, we do see, I'm like, it's always better, 1, we get to work on stuff, and 2, it keeps practices fun and interesting because we can see what we need to improve more on.
That was Colonesco volleyball coach Riley Purvis. We do have some high school volleyball tournaments coming up for you tomorrow. Here's where our area teams will be going. South Hardin will be at the Humboldt tournament. East Marshall GMG will go to Colfax Mingo. Dyke New Hartford's at Ankeny Centennial. AP will go to Fort Dodge St. Edmund. And Colonesco will travel to West Central. That will wrap up our halftime show. We'll get you back out to your game shortly. This is Radio on the Go Sports.
Greenbelt Bank and Trust.
Offices in Iowa Falls, Ackley, Grundy Center, Eldora, Belmont, and Parkersburg. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Greenbelt Bank and Trust. Small town, big hearts.
Leading the way.
When your air conditioner, furnace, or plumbing fails, call Lon's Plumbing and Heating. For over 30 years, Lon's Plumbing and Heating in Rhinebeck has handled all your plumbing, air conditioning, and heating needs. Lon's Plumbing and Heating, your trusted local experts for more than 30 years.
In Ziering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for high-speed fiber internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. At Hardin County Savings Bank, every time you use your HCSB debit card, local schools benefit. Help support school activities, events, and programs in our communities. Sign up for HCSB Cash for Schools today. Napa Farmers Feed and Supply in Rhinebeck is your local source for auto repair, tire repair, oil changes, and on-the-farm tire service. Call 319-788-2000. Did you know Partner Communications offers electrical services? From changing lights to wiring a new home, we can help. We have free estimates. You can call Partner today at 641-498-7701.
Show your school pride every time you shop with the People's Savings Bank School Pride Debit Card. Choose from AGWSR, Dike New Hartford, or Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Every swipe helps support your local schools. Stop by any PSB location and get yours today. Member FDIC.
High-speed internet shouldn't stop at the city limits. That's why RTU has expanded reliable internet service across rural Grundy and Tama counties with Traer coming soon. Main Street, not Wall Street. Learn more at Rhinebeck.net.
Welcome back to Ed Thomas Field here in Parkersburg tonight. Selwyn up in Austin. Johansson, glad to be with you on 94.3 FM KDAO and radio on the Go Sports on YouTube. 14-7 Aplington Parkersburg. Play looked a little sloppy from the Falcons early, but they've certainly shored things up here, and they've got the 7-point edge here at halftime.
Yeah, and I think those first two drives, or first three maybe, I think you can say, was kind of out the gate. You kind of thought, all right, this feels like maybe we're watching Grundy Center of old, and then very quickly it's shifted to AP kind of being back to a lot more competent, and it seemed like their run game was just progressively getting better. And that line of scrimmage over time, it really felt like AP was completely taking over at the start. They were able to hide it a little bit from that first drive from Grundy Center and a couple after that, but eventually it caught up with them of Grundy Center's mistakes in the passing game, and those offensive line versus defensive line, it has been all AP tonight, and that run game has really been a big struggle for Grundy Center. They cannot get anything to open up, at least north and south, and whenever they go outside, the edge is completely there for AP. They're able to lock it down. There's just not a lot of room to go for Grundy Center right now. We saw a little bit of an adjustment towards the end of that first half with Grundy putting out some more receivers, kind of spreading the field out a little bit more, able to open up kind of something, but ultimately the drive stalled out again. And this second half, this is going to be a huge adjustment here for Grundy Center, because I think when you just go head-to-head, my guys against your guys, so far AP has been the winner in that department. They are winning the line of scrimmage, so Grundy's going to have to be more creative coming into the second half on how they're going to open things up in the run game and if they're going to be able to find success in that department. Otherwise, a lot of pressure is going to be riding on Ethan Meester to clean it up in the passing game, be a little bit more decisive, and try to be a little bit more consistent, getting guys open, and probably have to go down the field a lot more than maybe they wanted to in this game.
Well, Grundy Center, if this holds up, would be facing the first time since 2018 when they've lost 2 consecutive games, and that was in the same year. They lost that year late in the regular season, and then also the playoffs finished 5-4 that season at Grundy Center. That was before their historic 50-game winning streak, and I say they lose 2 in a row because, of course, they lost in the state semifinals last year to Iowa City Regina, one of the 2 teams that own the state's longest winning streak, along with Waterloo East. And then, of course, if they are unable to come back in this one, then you're looking at the first time since 2018 that Grundy Center has suffered back-to-back losses, even though these would come in separate seasons. But
sure.
Ethan Meester at times has looked a little bit timid out there, so I'm waiting to see if maybe we brought up this possibility last week in practice. Do we see a little bit of Cooper Keller, come up a little bit at quarterback, maybe in the second half?
Well, not at quarterback for Cooper Keller. Are you thinking maybe of Schraggy?
Schraggy, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Lake Schraggy. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I mean, I can't decide, of course, and I don't have that much inside. But I have a feeling Meester is obviously going to keep the quarterback spot. I mean, let's not go crazy here after the first game. But I think for Meester, you can obviously tell he's got the skill set. He's got enough athleticism. He's got talent. He's got an arm, and he's able to throw the ball correctly. It's just a matter of getting over that mental block, I think, from this first-time start. He does look a little bit indecisive out there on the field, and I think he's a lot faster than he's leading on because once he gets up to full speed, you can see the talent there. You can see that he's able to make some guys miss, and he is able to bring something to the table in the run game, but he's just got to be a little bit more decisive on making that happen. His decision-making has got to improve, and that is something that Grundy Center has always been just really the best that I've seen with my own eyes is the decision-making at the quarterback position and just the play calling overall. That has been the combination that has kept Grundy Center as a winning program over all of these years, that 50-game winning streak, because no matter what's thrown at them, they are able to gain positive yards, they are able to make the right play calls, and the decision-making and the mistakes just don't happen on the Grundy Center side, or at least what we've seen for the past 4 to 7 years. I say 4 years because that's the time I've seen them, but even before that, their decision-making and the decisiveness is what's been able to lead them to all this success. So that has got to change here in that second half. It's got to start looking like how it has been for these past years under Coach Zajac. And with a little bit of a break now, halftime adjustments, they are fully expecting to come out there and look like a whole different team and bring the execution to another level.
Well, unofficially in that first half, Ethan Meester was 12 of 19 with 1 interception and 136 yards, including a 55-yard scoring pass that was completed to Hayden Gertis, who's the leading receiver right now, 3 catches for 74 yards. And officially, Gertis has also been the lone ball carrier tonight, with the exception of 1 run by Cooper Keller, went for -3. Gertis on the ground right now with 10 carries and 17 yards. Aplington Parkersburg, well, they've only thrown 3 passes tonight, 2 of those incomplete. The third one went for no gain. Their big running play tonight has come from Mason Prushner, who has 5 carries for 104 yards, including a 67-yard touchdown. The decisive score right now at 14-7. Meester dropped back to pass through kind of a short squib pass over the middle. It was intercepted on the play by Mason Kopp. He returned it 50 yards to the end zone for the touchdown. The extra points were good on all 3 scores tonight. 14-7 is where we stand here. Aplington Parkersburg with the early lead. By the way, I want to update you too on West Marshall, South Hardin. That game's at the half, and the Tigers looking impressive, leading 20-0 over West Marshall. Bring that up because, of course, Aplington Parkersburg's coach, West Marshall, the alma mater there. And it's also an interesting matchup because not only did Zach Fons graduate from West Marshall, one of his assistant coaches, Barry Scott, spent 4 years as the head coach of South Hardin after the program merged and had to shut down due to lack of players in 2012. Barry Scott came over from Hudson and coached South Hardin for a time before he decided to resign, and that opened the door for Nick Eller to take over that program. So there's a lot of local ties here in this game tonight, and also the one that's that we're also wearing on radio on the Go Sports here this evening. But 20-0, that's a big impressive score early for West Marshall. We'll see them next week up in New Hampton.
Yes, we will, and we're excited to be on the priority of Grundy Center on their away games throughout the season. We're going to see a little bit of Gladbrook Rhinebeck this year. Our sister station, our Rewind 93, will be covering primarily South Hardin away games. We're still, we're prioritizing a couple of schools and focusing on those away games, but we'll still be kind of going all around here in the central Iowa area. We'll find some Gladbrook Rhinebeck. We'll see. I think we got AGWSR on the schedule for one of them, and just a couple of other schools. And we'll still be around, and we're glad to be a part of this central Iowa listening area. And coming into the second half, AP is going to start off with the ball. And, they had that one defensive touchdown, right? AP had that one breakout run for, 67 yards, I think?
Yeah,
50?
67.
Yeah, 67 yards on that breakout run. You had the pick 6. So it's been exciting plays and touchdowns for AP. And they found some consistency in the run game, but it's just a matter of taking that next step, right? On those third downs, are they going to be able to convert? Are they going to be able to keep the drive going? Because it's looked good at times, but they just haven't been able to keep it at a consistent level. So this opening drive for AP is going to be very important. Are they going to be able to sustain this drive, march their way down to the red zone, and hopefully cap it off with points?
Well, there's the kickoff, fielded back in the 5-yard line. Big return there, and then a big hit by Grundy Center on the return. Boy, that return went from about the 5-yard line inside the 20, and then somebody defensively did not catch the number, just popped the return man right there. He got up, no problem, but it's going to be 1st and 10 here for Aplington Parkersburg, 14-7. Falcons lead it. This will be a key drive, I think, and a key defensive stop for Aplington Parkersburg. Key drive offensively for Aplington Parkersburg, key defensive stop for Grundy Center here in this first few minutes of the second half. So Falcons come out. They've got two receivers to the near side. This almost looks like a run play. High snap. It'll be taken by the quarterback, Schultz. He'll run it straight up the gut. Turn a negative play into something positive there. About a 4-yard gain. That's actually a direct snap to Mason Prusner. That's the play that got him the touchdown earlier. And it's going to be about a 4-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 6 coming up.
And for AP, after the halftime adjustments, you don't think anything's going to necessarily be a dramatic switch, right? I think there's been some success, like I mentioned before. It's just a matter of execution, I think, on those third downs and on those other plays. So I think it's just going to be kind of this business as usual, but they just want better execution.
Handoff for the Falcons. That play goes nowhere. Prusner again. Carrying the rock. It was Yoder that stepped in there, made the stop defensively for Grundy Center, but no gain on the play that time for Aplington Parkersburg, so it's 3rd and 6, almost 3rd and 5 coming up here for AP.
Yeah, Prusner's the one that had that breakaway run, and you can just see it as he's a returning kind of returning starter from last year coming into the system this year. He has really looked the part tonight, and here he goes again.
There's a pitch the other way. He goes to Prusner, and nothing for him. Tried to take it left side the line this time, and that hole was plugged up immediately. They're going to give him forward progress of a yard, not much more than that, but it does bring up 4th and about 3 here for AP, and it's punt time for the Falcons, so that Grundy Center defense holds.
Yeah, and they win the line of scrimmage that time, and that's what AP, at least defensively, has dominated in. Grundy Center has looked the part at times on that defensive line. They still look good. They've been able to hold AP to only one offensive touchdown tonight, and that's a lot better start, I think, on the defensive side. They look a little bit more dominant, only 5 yards of gain, able to punt on the first down, 3 and out.
So here's the punt now. It'll be fielded at the 35-yard line there. Lobby on the return this time, 40-45, tries to cut it upfield, and some great progress on that far sideline. Looks like he got into Aplington Parkersburg territory. They're going to mark him down at the 49-yard line. So great return by Lobby. And now they're going to back it up actually to Grundy Center territory. They'll mark him down at the 47.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how this lineup or formation is going to look right out of the gate for Grundy Center. If they're going to continue going out wide, and yes, they are going to go 3 wide here on the left and 1 on the right. So they are continuing of spreading out that secondary and one-on-one coverage.
1st and 10, Grundy Center, opening drive of the second half. They scored in the opening drive of the first half. Here's a swing pass out to the near side. They'll toss that one out here to Grant Aronson. Merrill with a stop once again. Forward progress, gets to the 48-yard line. It's only a 1-yard completion, but it's positive yardage for Grundy Center.
Yeah, and the passing game, has looked good at times, but it's typically, whenever it does look good, it's usually always on that first read. Whenever they get in trouble in the passing game, it's typically when that first read isn't there, or it's in a 3rd and long situation and they need to buy time, and there just sometimes gets a sense of panic. So whenever that first read is there and they're able to hit it, good things tend to happen.
Lake Schrage and Frisley line up on the far side of the formation. Frisley on the receiving end of the pass. That's into Aplington Parkersburg territory. They'll spot it down here at the 47-yard line, so they'll mark it down. So it's 3rd down and 4 coming up. Gain of 5.
And this is an important drive here for Grundy Center. This is coming right after halftime. Able to get a 3 and out. Got good field position. Grundy Center needs a big turnaround, and they expect kind of an instant gratification here coming out of their first drive. And here's going to be an important timeout. Timeout here from Grundy Center. Very early, but I think Zajac understands the importance of this first drive to set the tone, and he wants to make sure this is going to be the right call.
Well, Aplington Parkersburg took timeouts in the first quarter about 30 seconds apart, burning 2 of them early, and never used a 3rd one. So it is an important timeout here for Grundy Center, as right now the Spartans have it 3rd down and 4 from the Aplington Parkersburg 47, trailing 14-7 with 8:37 to go here in this first in this third quarter. We'll take a break. Back with more after this on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
API has you covered, literally. Top quality shingles, metal, rubber, and flat roofs, roofing and siding for home, farm, and business. See the API local showroom on Highway 175 East in Eldora. Free professional inspections and estimates. API roofing, siding, and gutters.
Should we do that? Yeah, shut it off and see. Yeah, turn off everything. That would happen back here with you, along with Austin Johansson. 3rd down and 4 for Grundy Center. Moving right to left here in this third quarter. Showing 14-7. Falcons showing some blitz right here. They hold a stand. Grundy Center trying to draw them off, just like Aplington Parkersburg did back in the first quarter against Grundy Center. Here's the snap. Came just in time. The quick throw over the middle. Diving grab. That ball appears to be caught, but maybe short of the first down. We'll see where they mark the football.
Yeah, he had to dive forward for that catch. It looks like he's going to be just a bit short. And it looks like they're going to get a measurement, actually. I believe that's what he's calling for.
Well, Aronson on the receiving end of that catch. Credit him for coming back to get the football instead of letting the football come to him. Meester threw it where it would not get intercepted, so credit Meester for making the throw. But they need to measure. This is the first time tonight that they've measured for a spot. And it looks like it's going to be just short. 4th down.
Well, that seems like an obvious go situation here. Well, let's see. I don't think they've actually measured it yet. They're still kind of working with the chains here. Okay, no, they were just making sure they got the spot correct. So it is going to be called short. It's going to be about a half a yard short on a 4th and inches situation. So it seems like an obvious go situation. And for Grundy Center, I would just beef up the line. I know your offensive line has struggled a little bit tonight to get some room, but feels like can't really put this in the air. If you have the coverage, if you like it, maybe you can try and burn them deep, but seems like right up the middle. Let's go get the first down.
Well, Meester at 6'4", 190. Do you run him up the middle? You just quarterback sneak it?
Well, and he got tripped up a little bit, and he dove forward. And we're going to probably get another measurement here, I think, because that was very, very close. Meester was met with a little bit of contact. And they are going to give him a spot here. They're going to say short.
Wow. Meester unable to make it on the quarterback keeper, and that may be a big key in the second half right there. That opening drive stop by Aplington Parkersburg.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily love that call either. They go for another read option kind of sense, but this is an obvious run situation. You know, AP is kind of sending the house at everybody. There's 2 corners out there near the wideouts, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. They're kind of just a decoy, but it's just your guys against ours, and really felt like there was not enough pushback to be able to make that call. Meester gave it his all, and he was able to find a little bit of room, but just not enough.
Coach Sajak has always had some good rapport with the defense here.
Oh, man.
They're going deep on the route, downfield, ball caught, 30-25, first down, Aplington Parkersburg. They hit the home run ball after the turnover, and it's 1st and 10 Falcons.
Well, how about that? After a bit of a deflating play call from Grundy Center and a turnover on downs, that felt like a very ideal. You can tell that they had that one drawn up and saving in their back pocket as they put the quarterback out at wideout. They put him on a wide receiver jet motion, able to take the snap directly, kind of on a wildcat, able to hand it off to the quarterback. He's able to set up shop. Grundy Center's secondary fell for the handoff. They bite on it and able to just kind of come underneath and pop out wide for a deep go route and able to make a really nice connection and a very positive game.
And it was Tate Fonts, the coach's kid, on the receiving end of that 30-yard pass completion. And now Eberhardt with a run up the middle, but flags are down in the play. So it's going to be a holding call against Aplington Parkersburg. So they turn it positive. Now it's back into a negative here. Grundy Center will accept this penalty because it was about a 5-yard gain on the play. So they'll back it up 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20 now for Aplington Parkersburg as they move it back the 10 yards.
Yeah, for AP, they really feel like they got to capitalize right here, right? It's not, they can't expect to just have a 14-7 lead and expect that to be the end result. They got to put more points on the board. You know, they feel comfortable now, but they know that they're expected to put more points on the board. And coming off of a big turnover on downs, excellent field position, a big home run ball, puts you near the red zone. They feel like they got to capitalize here and put some points on the board.
Line of scrimmage here. Half marks. Got a receiver open going far side. On the line, the ball was caught and then dropped. On the receiving end of that was Wes Shirk. Boy, was thrown right in his numbers, but just could not hang on. You could have got a better thrown ball right there by Harrison Schultz.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Schultz put that on the money. That was a back shoulder throw, just one-on-one coverage on the outside, kind of going on a go route, but fading near the corner, near the sideline. He's able to put it right over into the breadbasket, but just not able to reel it in. It was a little bit tough to see if his vision was maybe blurred off. It was nice coverage. He was there. But that was a really nice thrown ball, just couldn't reel it in.
One receiver far side, one to the bottom. There's two in the backfield now for Aplington Parkersburg. High snap. It is hauled down by Schultz. They're going to hand this one out to Eberhardt. He tries to get some forward progress to the near side of the line, running behind the right tackle and right guard, but that hole plugged up quickly. There's no gain on the play here for Eberhardt, and it brings up 3rd and long. Eberhardt now 7 carries, just 13 yards on the evening for the fullback. And
got a player shaking up here for Grundy.
Yeah, cramping situation here for the Spartans. Well, next week, off to New Hampton. West Marshall Trojans taking on the Chickasaws next week. Looking forward to that trip up to Chickasaw County. County I'm very familiar with. A lot of my dad's side of the family, some of the original founders in the area up around Ionia, Nashua, that area. But in 35 years of broadcasting, I've never called a football game in New Hampton. Done basketball, done softball, never football. So looking forward to the trip next week up to New Hampton. We'll have that for you at 7 o'clock. Pregame coverage at 6:30. Right here next Friday night.
I don't think I have. I definitely haven't either. I have not been up there myself. But we're going to be into some new places from now on.
Yeah.
Whether that's football or basketball. Excited to probably go a little bit further north, I think, in some cases, and going on the road for a lot of Grundy and South Hardin games throughout football and into basketball, and it's exciting stuff. And it's been a real positive change, ever since we moved here with the radio on the go, and glad that you're still a part of it, covering here and able to stay together broadcasting-wise. You know, whenever new ownership takes over, you never know what's in the air, but I'm glad we're still together calling football. And it's been a fun game. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe not how Grundy fans wanted this game to go, obviously, but this is exciting stuff, and there's been a lot of pressure. It's a close game. Usually, at the high school level, we've seen a lot of blowouts, right? It's not always every Friday we get a close game, one-score game. So the fact that we're here in the third quarter, still one-possession game, it's anybody's ball game, it's exciting stuff.
And a great crowd on hand, too, making this really a terrific opening night battle. Back to pass. Schultz throws it over the middle. That ball's incomplete. Had a receiver out there. Looked like a little bit of miscommunication on the route between him and Mason Prushner. And so Schultz just threw it into no man's land right there where nobody could get that pass.
Yeah,
and it does bring up, 3rd down and 18 now for the Falcons.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I think it's just a miscommunication on the route. It looked like it was kind of take 5 steps up and wanted him to go more of on a post, kind of go diagonal towards the end zone, ended up kind of going more horizontal east and west, wanted to go more northeast, right? Northeast up there, but put the ball where he thought he was going to be, took the wrong route, had some good coverage up the middle as well. No go for this, kind of in no man's land.
Twin receivers each side of the sets here for Aplington Parkersburg. Out of the shotgun formation, Schultz, he'll throw it out near side. It's incomplete. Pass was intended out here on the near side for Wes Shirk once again, but it's 4th down, and now it's decision time for Aplington Parkersburg.
Well, we're still kind of just waiting for that other shoe to drop, right? We've been 14-7 for a while now. We're just waiting for that next strike. And once that next score happens, if one does happen, the entirety of the complex of this game is going to change, right? The play calling will become different. The feelings and the mental battle will start again. Just feels like it's in neutral mode right now, and kind of Grundy does their thing, AP does their thing, kind of punting it back and forth, whether it's a turnover, waiting for that other shoe to drop. Who's going to execute? Who's going to put the ball in the end zone? Who's going to change this game?
Aplington Parkersburg, or Grundy Center taking over on downs with the football. They'll give it to Hayden Gertis, and Gertis with a nice run pops it to the near side right here and picks up a good chunky yardage on 1st down. That's a 5-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 5 coming up here for the Spartans.
Yeah, not a lot better job there from the offensive line. A nice little hole kind of going north and south. Gertis is able to hit it. He's able to make kind of one step to the left, make one guy miss, gain some extra yards, and that's a solid run on first down. And if they can do that on every first down, this drive and this game will look a lot different. It's just being able to gain positive yards on first down. They have not been able to do that consistently tonight.
Two receivers near side, twins to the far side. Curtis the lone setback here once again. They'll get the handoff, and it's up to run. No, that's Cooper Keller into the game. He runs the rock and gets 4 on the play, so it's going to be 2nd down and 1 for the 41-yard line of Grundy Center territory.
Yeah, and we haven't seen as much as Cooper Keller as we maybe thought tonight, but when you look at last year's stats with Gertis and Cooper Keller, there was only 3 carries that separated them, as Keller led, I believe, was second in the team in 44 carries. Gertis was 41 in carries. Their yardage was about 50 yardage difference. Gertis had a few more touchdowns, but their stats were nearly identical behind starting running back of, I can't remember his name. I had it in my head of last year's running back. It'll come to me here in a second.
Pete Lebo.
I had
there
it.
You, go.
I had it.
You
beat me to it.
I was giving you some time.
You beat me to it.
Here's a quick pass out to the far side. That pass is caught, and it's going to result in a Grundy Center first down to the 48-yard line. So it's going to be a gain here of, well, they'll mark at the 47, so it's a gain of 6 yards right there on the completed pass.
Yeah, it's very early still in this drive, but this is going how they expect it to go, right? 2 back-to-back successful run games. They are able to now have options on third down. AP has to think about how they're going to set it up because now there's some success, so there might be not necessarily as much of a run commit. They can go more comfortably into the pass game. They want to keep executing on this level.
8th first down of the game for Grundy Center. They'll give it to Hayden Gertis once again, but he's bottled up in the backfield for no gain. Lost a yard on the play. Back to the 46-yard line here for Grundy Center. So 2nd and 11 coming up, and that may have been a nice stop there for Aplington Parkersburg. We'll see how Grundy Center responds here in the next offensive play.
Yeah, and it's just a loss of 1 yard, so it shouldn't change too much on what Grundy Center's trying to do. I think this is kind of a big moment here for Grundy Center. When something doesn't go right, are they going to go in panic mode? Are they going to go completely off script? Are they just going to stick to what they know? Are they going to keep executing like they know they can and not panic because there's just a 1 yard loss?
So 2nd down, 11. Here's the snap. Meester 2-step drop. Fakes the pass, now throws it. That ball intercepted. I didn't say it was incomplete, but they got it. AP picks it off, and there's the second turnover of the night by Grundy Center. Wow, big play right there. It had the receiver open. He just threw it a little bit short, but it's just a terrific defensive play. The defender drove out there. Sorry, didn't catch his number, but he drove out there and made a diving catch and came up with an intercepted pass.
Yeah, and again, it's a little bit of indecisiveness that time. You can see Meester kind of pump fake initially on that first read. You can tell that he was wanting to go there initially, kind of hesitated, pump fake, didn't think it was open, then kind of tried to force it in there, but it was kind of a good coverage on the initial kind of man-to-man, and then good recognition from AP's defense, kind of jumped that route and able to pick it off pretty easily on that thrown ball.
1st and 10 from the Grundy Center 47-yard line, but a bad snap right there, and Harrison Schultz able to fall on it, but it's a big loss. Back to the Aplington Parkersburg 44-yard line. So they go to the opposite side of the field now from one 44-yard line. They'll move it back 11 yards on that fumble recovery. Aplington Parkersburg's put it on the turf 4 times tonight. They recovered 2. With a loss of 11. And now it's going to be 2nd and a bunch here for the Falcons. Back to pass. Schultz airs it out. Has the receiver open downfield. That ball is caught on the far side and outruns the defender and scores on the touchdown. It is Wes Shirk on the receiving end of that 45-yard bomb for Aplington Parkersburg. And the Falcons have the first 2-score lead of the night. They're up 20-7 with 2:52 to go here in this third quarter. Extra point on the way.
Well, just an absolute strike down the left sideline as able to throw his guy open into coverage. And AP rightfully so, celebrating with the entire team down in the end zone. And just an unfortunate injury now popping up. As we can see, that is a starting quarterback here for AP that is down on the ground, and a really ultimate riding high moment kind of quickly gets halted. You can kind of sense AP fans kind of, delegating their celebrations, knowing that their starting quarterback is down as of right now, and he is hobbling off the field a little bit, and hopefully he's going to be okay.
It looks more like a cramping situation there for Harrison Schultz.
Hopefully so, yeah.
Yep, it looks that way. That's good. You'll see a lot of that with the warm weather.
Oh, yeah.
And the conditioning and stuff till they get used to it. That's common this time of year. Well, that's Charlie horses. Those things hurt, don't they, when you get
I don't even want to think about it.
You're an athlete. I only played junior high basketball, but you still get them once in a while if you just turn.
Oh, I woke up.
Stretch.
I don't know if it was a Charlie horse, but I woke up with my right calf. You ever get like a cramp where it just
hardens up?
It just tightens to the max, and it's just you can't do anything but just lay there in pain.
That's exactly what that looked like there with Harrison Schultz. Here's the kick, but it's blocked. Grundy Center comes up with a block of the PAT. So that keeps it to manageable 2-score lead here for Aplington Parkersburg over Grundy Center. 2:52 to go in this third quarter. It is 20-7 Falcons leading Grundy Center. Spartans will get the football when we come back on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement, they've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
Colotel Fiber is connecting Iowa communities to the future. Enjoy reliable fiber internet with managed Wi-Fi, unlimited use, and no data caps. Colotel Fiber, fast, reliable, and local. Cooley Pumping and Sanitation is family-owned and offers septic pumping, drain cleaning, portable restrooms, inspections, dumpsters, and roll-offs. Cooley Pumping and Sanitation, experienced, dependable, and ready to help.
D&B Agrisystems has the grain storage, handling, and conditioning equipment you need. From site planning and design to installation and service, their experienced team is ready to help. Plus, preseason equipment checks help keep you running smoothly. D&B Agrisystems, ready for harvest, ready to serve you.
20-7, Aplington Parkersburg takes the lead on a West Shirk 55-yard scoring pass. The quarterback Harrison Schultz, the kick blocked. Makes it a 20-7 lead now with 2:52 to go in this third quarter. So Grundy Center with some work to do here on the road. And here comes the approach and the kickoff now by the Falcons following that touchdown. This will be a D kick. It was taken by Gerdes back at the 4-yard line. Gerdes runs it out to the far side, 15-20, 25, still on his feet, and finally brought down on the far sideline. Nice hit over there by Aplington Parkersburg on the tackle. But the Spartans will have it there, first down and 10 from around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and I think it is going to be a horse collar tackle because it looked like he did kind of get brought down, yanked down pretty violently, and you can see the crowd kind of reacting to that tackle as well. So I think it is going to be on AP and give Grundy a little bit more ideal field position here.
Well, that's the case. That's a big penalty because not only was it a nice return from the 4 to about the 23-yard line, the personal foul is another 15 yards tacked on to that nice return. That's only the 5th penalty of the night and the biggest of the evening, covering 15 yards.
Well, and give AP a whole lot of credit on that play call. And you really like what Fonts is doing here in his first year as the head coach because they had the ability to be able to make that call, right? If you're down, you're struggling on offense, if you're not in a comfortable situation, you're not making these kind of calls. But give AP a lot of credit to keep the confidence, knowing that they have the skill and the ability to throw it deep down the field, go for a home run play, and eventually when one hit, you can just feel the momentum completely shift in their favor.
Well, there was a direct snap to Ethan Meester, and it was kind of an odd play because Gerdes was the motion man, and they snapped it right in front of Gerdes, but it went to Meester, but he turns it into a positive gain of 3 yards, call it 2nd and 7 coming up here for the Spartans.
Yeah, and you're wondering, how the rest of this game is going to go now for Grundy. Are they going to kind of stay with the run game? Are they going to stay with the quick, kind of short, one-read passing game? Are they going to be able to – because eventually you're going to come to a point where they are going to have to air it out if they're not going to be able to find the end zone. So you wonder, are they going to take some shots? Are they going to do what AP just did? Are they going to try to find some one-on-one coverage and see if they can get the home run ball?
Well, they got Pat. They're going to run it right here with Gerdes, and he makes a nice run right up the middle and gets forward progress to the 45-yard line. That's a gain of 4 for Grundy Center, and it brings up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, Cooper Keller gets that carry that time and gets a decent gain, and we're seeing a little bit more of him being incorporated here in the second half. As Gertis has looked the part, though. He's looked nice. Whenever he's gotten room, he's been able to at least make that first guy miss, it seems, on every time that he's touched the ball. And this is a nice 1-2 punch, but they got to be able to have some room to operate, and they got to keep performing at a consistent level.
Gertis into the game. Now, their uniform numbers look so similar,
Yeah,
21 and 24.
When you got one cut off, you can easily be deceived.
That's why I thought it was Gertis still in the game, just because of the way they were. And there's a timeout on the field, and it's taken by Grundy Center. Did not like Grundy defensively the way Aplington Parkersburg was set up, so Grundy Center burns its second timeout of the half. 1:20 remaining, third quarter. It's 20-7. Aplington Parkersburg leading the Spartans. We'll take a break. Back with more from Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg at 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go, Sports on YouTube.
The Eldora Hy-Vee store offers large-town variety with small-town friendliness. Find everything you need from fresh produce and quality meats to bakery favorites and everyday essentials. The Eldora Hy-Vee store, big selection, hometown service.
24 years of honest work and fair prices. Matt Schuyler and Jason at Eldora Tire and Alignment have the know-how to keep your vehicle running right this fall. A dealer of hand-cooked tires. That's Eldora Tire and Alignment. Highway 175 East Eldora. Experience you can trust.
Grundy Center facing third down and 3 from its own 45-yard line right here. We'll see what the play call is coming out of their second timeout of this third quarter. 200 receivers far side. One goes in motion out on the near side. That's Lake Schrage lining up here on the near side. Back to pass, or Friese, I should say. Now the swing pass is caught, and a broken tackle to the far side. Still on his feet, 40-35, and it's finally brought down to that far sideline. A big play there for Grundy Center, and that's the first down.
Well, and it looks a little bit similar to what they were doing in the first half, just a lot better executed, and the blocks were able to be there. Meester rolls out to his right. He's got a receiver out to the right in this flat. Kind of sits up almost like a wide receiver screen. He rolls out to his right. Got one receiver kind of going upfield, waiting for the block. One guy comes back, kind of running back towards Meester, gets the pass in stride, able to cut upfield, take it up for a big game.
22-yard pass play to Lake Schrage. Ninth first down of the night here for Grundy Center, and that pass is incomplete. Grundy Center now on the night, by the way, is 2 of 6 on third down plays. That pass intended for Hayden Gertis here in the flat on the near side, but it falls incomplete. Second down coming up.
Yeah, and there's got to be a little bit of a sense of urgency here, right, for Grundy Center. They're now in a portion of the field where they're going to go for it here on fourth down no matter what. But you want to be friendly to yourself, right? You want to make it easy. You don't necessarily want to put yourselves in a hole because you know you're going to go for it on fourth down, but at least make it so that way you can open up the playbook still and keep this drive going and try to put this in the end zone and keep this a ball game.
Right now, Meester with 173 yards passing unofficially. He's going to add to it right there. It's a first down reception on the far side, and then some. They had him stopped after about a 3-yard gain. He would have got the first down, but Schrage fought his way forward, broke off a couple tackles, and gets a big run there for the Spartans. Eberhardt with a tackle from the 34-yard line. They'll spot the football now at about the 11. 15's where they mark it.
Well, great snag there from Schrage. He had to come back a little bit as it was a little bit behind him, but he keeps himself in stride, able to catch it with his hands, break one tackle, gain it for a lot more, and now they're near a first and goal.
19-yard gain on the pass play. Here's a handoff, and nothing that time for Grundy Center. Had some success with the pass. They decided to run it here on the first down. Hayden Gertis, nowhere for him to go. Up the middle. That hole was plugged up immediately. He's tackled for no gain on the play. Second down coming up.
And, yeah, they're going to take that into this fourth quarter, and the fours will go up. And both teams like to throw up the fours. And we'll see who's going to have a better fourth quarter here tonight. And we see Grundy Center have done that for many years now, but they're going to have to live by this now here in this fourth quarter. A lot of times they are up by a lot of points. They're down by 2 scores, and they got to get back on the right side of things to open up this ballgame.
20-7 right now, Aplington Parkersburg leading after 3 quarters of play. Back for the fourth quarter from Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg after this on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Ellsworth Community College is preparing students for success with affordable education and hands-on learning. Whether you're starting your college journey or preparing for a career, Ellsworth Community College is here to help you succeed. RTU doesn't just serve Rhinebeck. We've brought high-speed internet to rural Grundy and Tama counties, and we're soon going to be in Traer. Your hometown provider, growing with the community. RTU. Learn more at rhinebeck.net. Farm Bureau Financial Services offers customized coverage for your farm, machinery, livestock, and more. All in one policy, one premium, and one deductible. Contact Farm Bureau agent Kyle Blom or sales associate Justin Teesing in Rhinebeck.
Critical few plays coming up here for Grundy Center, trailing 20-7 at the start of the fourth quarter, facing a 2nd and 11 from the Aplington Parkersburg 16-yard line. If you get it in here, you can cut this to a one-possession game once again and maybe have something happen late. But it's an important area of the field right now for Grundy Center. Meester back to pass, looks to throw, delays, throws it over the middle, almost, it is intercepted. It's West Short on the interception. He threw it right over the middle, and now a flag comes down late as Curtis comes up with a tackle. And Meester does as well, but a flag down well after the pick, and this pick should stand. That'll be the 3rd turnover thrown by Ethan Meester. We got also a Grundy Center player down at the goal line. Looks like another cramping situation there for the Spartans. Meester again with a pump fake, and then threw it over the middle, had the guy there, and Aplington Parkersburg, it looked like had dropped the football the first time, and then able to collar it in, and it forces the interception. Illegal block in the back here after the interception, so the pick will stand.
Yeah, and you kind of called it right on the money. Another pump fake there from Meester, and just hesitation. That's kind of been the common denominator on a lot of these interceptions tonight is the hesitation on that first initial throw. It almost seems like a pump fake, but it's not really a pump fake. It's hesitation on the throw. It's just some indecisiveness. I think initially he sees that maybe it's not as open as he thought, and then he still kind of tries to force it in, right? It feels like the timing's a little bit off. Maybe the receiver was open, maybe it wasn't, but there's some hesitation on the throw. Ends up still making the throw, and then that's the result. It gets picked off again.
Boy, remember at the pregame we talked about the enthusiasm that Aplington Parkersburg had for their first-year head coach in Zach Fonts and the direction this program seemed to be taking.
Yeah.
Boy, if tonight's any indication, they got off to a slow start. Yes, that's going to happen on an opening night with a new coach, new team. But, boy, they've played really well after those initial 2 fumbles and that early penalty.
Yeah, it didn't look good at all from the start. I mean, the first 2 plays, turnovers and mistakes were piling up, and it was just like it was very easily. You could have seen a very easy situation where AP could have took that and not overcome it and just come out here sluggish and not look good, but they were able to put that completely behind them. They were able to keep the momentum going, get on the right path. After a few plays, able to put the ball in the end zone. They have looked like a different ball club, and they have really stepped up tonight and give AP a whole lot of credit. They have looked really, really solid tonight.
Well, there was a legal block in the back, so a 15-yard penalty pushed it back to about the 9-yard line. Now Prewster gets a 1-yard gain to the 10 here for AP. Mason Prewster now with 110 yards rushing on 9 carries unofficially tonight. He's been the workhorse running the football for Aplington Parkersburg. 2nd and 9 now from the 10-yard line here for the Falcons. Harrison Schultz, high snap. He will hand it off. Now a misdirection play. They'll bounce it to the near side. There's Prewster again running the rock. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds here at the 16-yard line. Cooper Keller on the tackle, forcing him out of bounds. But it's a gain of 7, so 2nd and 3. Call that gain of 6, so call it 2nd and 3 coming up here for Aplington Parkersburg.
And for AP, they're playing with a ton of confidence right now because the way that this game has gone, coming into this game, it might have felt a little bit different, mental-wise, but the way that all these quarters have gone, they feel like the better team. They are executing, and they got a 2-possession lead in the fourth quarter with 11 minutes left. They can kind of not necessarily go on cruise control, but they can have room for mistakes, right? Not every play is riding on the game. They can play their game, and they can try to execute.
Going for the long ball again. Got the receiver open, 50-40. He's going to have on the defense. That's a touchdown all the way for Aplington Parkersburg. Touchdown for the Falcons, and this one covering 84 yards on the pass completion there from Harrison Schultz to his receiver downfield for the touchdown.
Well, and how about Schultz tonight? Once is, anybody can throw one that might look good, but back-to-back, in terms of touchdowns that have looked that pretty on those long balls, I think AP's got themselves a quarterback that is capable of pushing it down the field and executing at a high level. Schultz have looked excellent tonight with another touchdown down the field.
84 yards on the touchdown scoring pass there for Aplington Parkersburg. And that may be an insurmountable lead for Grundy Center to overcome now.
And we do have another injury over here on the left side. It's a little bit out of your view, Ellen, but it's another injured player here for Grundy Center.
So we'll wait and see what the injury situation is here for the Falcons and for the Spartans here. So again, they do attend to an injured player on the field. You're right, that's out of my view. You said it's Grundy Center?
Yeah,
player?
it is, yeah.
You're right at the corner of the end zone here. Nice pass completion, though. 84-yard pickup right there for Harrison Brewster. And this is a team that didn't pass much in the first half, but they've certainly opened it up here in the second half. And, boy, they've hit the long ball. They've been able to hit the long ball and hit it often here against Grundy Center in the second half.
Yeah, and I think I think they played this game excellently strategy-wise. I mean, they've been a really run-heavy team in the past, and kind of coming into this game, they've shown run a ton. You know, they've shown a lot of different options on whether it's read option, whether there's guys kind of bouncing it out. Schultz has been able to keep it himself for a couple of times. So, and Grundy is very used to playing against a lot of teams that love to run the ball, and they've been able to shut it down at a consistent level. And I think Grundy Center had a lot of trust in their one-on-one coverages, but give AP credit. I mean, they've just been the better team in the passing game. Pushing it down the field. They've been able to get some separation, and Schultz has put it on the money. He has looked really, really good in terms of his throwing motion and the way that he's been able to carry this team tonight. He has had a really great performance against a three-time champion in Grundy Center, coming off of a 50-game winning streak, and they have just looked like the absolute better team tonight. And this game's not completely over yet, but this is a three-score game, and Grundy has got to completely turn this around if they want to get back in this one.
Yeah, Tate Fonts on the receiving end of that 84-yard scoring bomb for Aplington Parkersburg. The extra point is good, and with 10:49 to go now in the ballgame, it's Aplington Parkersburg leading 27-7 over Grundy Center. We'll take a break. Come right back to Ed Thomas Field after this on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
This is Ben Ferris from Ferris Insurance Agency, your local American Family Insurance agent. We offer home, auto, and life insurance through American Family. We serve Iowa Falls, Eldora, and the surrounding counties. Find us across from Hy-Vee in Iowa Falls or on Highway 175 in downtown Eldora.
Gallagher Insurance Risk Management and Consulting is a leading global insurance brokerage and consulting firm. Visit Gallagher at 11 East Church Street in Marshalltown or call 641-752-4618.
So Curtis and Heller back to receive the kickoff here from Aplington Parkersburg following the 84-yard pass from Harrison Schultz to Tate Fonts, the coach's kid. Big score there, giving Aplington Parkersburg now a 20-point edge at 20-7. Here's the return by Grundy Center. And Curtis isn't done yet. He's going to take it back to the 5-yard line and the return to the 30. So nice return there by Hayden Gertz. Grundy Center takes over 1st and 10, but it's almost now a do-or-die time for Grundy Center. They've got to pretty much be pretty methodical here in the final 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah, they got to be mistake-free, and they got to open it up. I mean, they got to go to the passing game, and they got to go deep. I mean, they got to take some shots because AP, that's how they've been able to open it up here in the second half. They've just kind of went away from playing scared and playing, conservative, and they're like, you know what? We got the lead. We feel the confidence. Let's open it up. Let's try to put some guys deep, and let's connect on some of these passes. We've had a little opportunity in the first half, but in the second half, they felt like a more dynamic offense, and they've just been able to really shine here tonight. And Grundy, they are going to have to really execute on a different level here in the second half if they want to win, if they want to at least just get back in this game tonight.
That Aplington Parkersburg defense, though, is fired up. They've got the play stuffed out. Gertis tried to run it and find some running room, but nothing was there. He was stopped right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to actually mark him for a loss of 2 back to the 29. So Gertis finding some tough running room here in the second half. He's carried the ball tonight 14 times for a total of 19 yards.
Yeah,
following the loss of 2.
Yeah, if you want to look at just one specific stat, that's definitely one that you're going to point out that has been a big trouble tonight offensively. That run game has been completely shut down.
And Meester dropped the football. He was swarmed under on a sack situation right there. He got it back, however, so they avoid the turnover, but they lost a lot of yardage again. Grundy Center going the wrong direction here in this fourth quarter. There's a term I haven't said in about 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just an excellent job just pursuing Meester on that play by AP's defensive line. Just kind of put in a hit. Meester was kind of dropping back, had the kind of football tucked away a little bit, but I think initially was maybe going to try to start to scramble, but got hit right in the process and popped that football loose. But he was able to quickly jump back on it and able to at least keep this possession.
Seitz recovered the fumble for Grundy Center. Here's Meester, runs to the left, now cuts back to the right, gets forward, progress 30, and big hit just before he's out of bounds right here, inside the 35 to the 39-yard line. Meester gets tackled right into the Aplington Parkersburg bench, but it will be a fourth down situation coming up here for the Falcons, or for the Spartans. Are still about 5 yards short, and this will probably be a fourth down situation. They'll have to go for it, trailing by 20.
Yeah, a little exchange of words there after that hit as well from AP and Grundy. And, this is a friendly rivalry of sorts, but, when it's on the field, push comes to shove, you got to execute. And it looks like they were in punt formation, but they did call a timeout. And, I'm kind of with you, right? I mean, there's no real sense of punting this football away. You kind of have to go for it here if you want any chance of coming back. Obviously, it's a very unlikely situation now, but you at least got to give yourselves an opportunity with 9 minutes left. There's still enough time to be able to make it happen, but you got to be able to find a first down here.
And it creates an extra problem for Grundy Center because that's the third and final timeout of this second half. So we'll take a break. It's happening to Parkersburg leading Grundy Center 27-7. 9:04 left. You're listening to the 2026 high school season opener tonight between the Falcons and Spartans on 94.3 FM Grundy Center and 1190 AM KDAO and 103.7 FM in Marshalltown, and Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
GNB Bank is a proud supporter of Grundy Center and surrounding communities. Count on your hometown team at GNB Bank for protection and all your customized banking needs. GNB Bank is there when you need them. GNB Bank, member FDIC, banking you can count on.
Hanson Family Hospital is your home for healthcare in Hardin County. From convenient family care and specialists close to home to 24/7 emergency care, Hanson Family Hospital is committed to providing compassionate, quality healthcare for you and your family. Hanson Family Hospital, care close to home.
J&T Plumbing and Heating is ready to help with your home or business. From plumbing repairs and drain cleaning to heating, furnace, and air conditioning service, J&T Plumbing and Heating, keeping you comfortable year-round.
Well, Ethan Meester decided to punt coming out of Grundy Center's third and final timeout. There was no return man for Aplington Parkersburg, so the Falcons, I think, were anticipating a fake. But Grundy Center opted to punt this one away. Now the Spartans are going to rely on their defense to come up and make a big play and maybe force a turnover here to get that football back. They also have to avoid that big pass play again, as we've seen the Falcons go to the air here in this second half, and it's worked very well to their benefit.
Yeah, but at this point in the game, I think for AP, this is just a matter of let's keep the football any means necessary. But let's seems like an obvious run situation on first and second down, and third and short, keep it on the ground, keep that clock moving, and see if we can keep the football and burn off as much clock as we can.
And they'll give it to Prusner here. Runs it to the far side of the field. He'll gain, 3 yards. That's a big run there for Mason Prusner. His 11th carry of the night for 119 yards unofficially. So 2nd and 7 coming up here for Aplington Parkersburg next week. Don't forget, Austin and I make the trip to New Hampton. West Marshall will hit the road next week for that non-district game. We'll have it for you with pregame coverage starting at 6:30. Kickoff at 7 from New Hampton next Friday night. One receiver to the near side. It's a one backfield set here for Aplington Parkersburg. Prusner bounced off one tackle, gets the second, and will pick up the first down for the Falcons just inside the 30-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain and a first down, Aplington Parkersburg.
That's exactly what you want drawn up. If you're the Falcons, they want to keep this as long and methodical as possible. Just keep moving the chains and keep it in possession. You don't necessarily need to score. If you cap it off with a touchdown, even better, but just keep that clock moving. Every second that ticks off is going to be a happy smile for an AP Falcon.
7:44 to go here in the fourth quarter. Falcons up 27-7. You're right. This is a drive. Really, if Aplington Parkersburg even gets it to midfield, that's a win. You can punt that one away and put Grundy center deep and just make it that much tougher for the Spartans to come back here. They got to pitch it far side. Here's Brewster again running. Finds some running room. That's going to turn what should have been a minimal gain into a nominal 5-yard pickup, maybe 6. They're going to mark him down here at the 45-yard line. 35-yard line. There will be a 5-yard pickup here for Aplington Parkersburg. That's 129 yards now for Mason Prusner on 13 carries tonight. You can't overlook what Harrison Schultz has done. First half, he was 1 for 3 throwing the football in the first half, but has lit fire here in the second half and is 179 yards passing right now. Here's the handoff again. Prusner again rushes forward against a Grundy center defense that all of a sudden looks tired and picks up the first down to the 41-yard line. That's a 6-yard gain and another AP first down.
Yeah, Prusner's looked the part tonight, hasn't he? I mean, this is a guy that's returning from the starting lineup last year, and he's had a lot of success with AP running the football, and he just looks like a guy that is very, very reliable. He seems very dynamic. He's got speed. He's got the size for it. Prusner is just going to be a guy that I think AP Falcons fans are going to really enjoy seeing throughout this season. And can't say enough about Harrison Schultz tonight, too. Those 2 throws that he's made down those sideline, I mean, picture perfect, about as good as you can get. And it's been a big reason why AP's on top tonight.
And here's Brewster again, runs up the middle, now cuts to the near side, shuns off one tackle, 45-50, run out of bounds, and he's going to get the first down. He should have the first down. It looked like he got out of bounds about the 48-yard line. If that's the case, he will have the first down. Yes, he does. That's an 11-yard gain. Look at the official on the far sideline where he's standing. He's a yard in front of the first down marker. And that's 3 plays and 3 straight first down runs here for Aplington Parkersburg. Well, that's also the 10th first down for the Falcons. This is the part now where I said, all you got to do is get it out to midfield. If you're stopped here, you punt it away, and then Grundy centers deep, and it's down to 6:43 to go. It's going to be tough now with a 3-score lead. Here's the handoff, the pitch back. This is Eberhardt this time carrying the rock. And again, positive yardage right there as Eberhardt gains 3 on that first down run to the 45-yard line of Grundy center territory.
And I think Grundy fans are in a bit of a state of shock right now, right? I mean, you come off riding high off 4 undefeated regular season year. Well, I think even more than that, regular season wise in terms of undefeatedness, right? So many Unidome appearances and a 50-game winning streak, and first game of the year. They haven't experienced this in a long time, right? It's a big shift from what we're used to seeing from Grundy Center, and you just have to keep in mind it's a new team. Things are going to be different. It's not necessarily the most shocking thing in the world, what maybe you expected coming into Grundy Center tonight, but I don't think fans were expecting it at this level, right? A 3-score deficit coming into the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter is not what was on anybody's mind coming into this game tonight.
More shocking than this, really, and I don't mean this to sound negative, but the 50-game winning streak, that's impressive. That's hard to do, to sustain that sort of a run for so many years and so many players involved.
Oh, yeah.
That's even more shocking. Because I say it's shocking because it's only happened just a handful of times. Grundy Center's got the 3rd longest winning streak in the state.
Yeah.
And football's been played here since, the turn of the 20th century. Shows you how impressive that is. Harlan's the only one that come even close. Here's a handoff now by Eberhardt, runs it right up the middle. Boy, good turning of the legs right there to the 45-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about, 7 yards following the 5-yard penalty, and it's going to be 3rd and 7 now for Aplington Parkersburg. Nine carries, 19 yards for Devin Everhart. They did get a 5-yard penalty for illegal procedure just before that play. That's why it was pushed back yardage-wise. And if Aplington Parkersburg puts up the first down here, it's almost going to be impossible for Grundy Center to make the comeback here. There's a pitch back to Everhart. He'll run it far side. He stopped there at the 43. So that's a gain of 2, so it's going to be 4th down and 5.
Brings up 4th down.
And remember, Grundy Center cannot stop the clock. They burned all 3 timeouts here in the second half.
Yeah,
carries 21 yards for Everhart.
And on the flip side, right, we talked about just kind of the disappointment and the shock here for Grundy Center tonight, but on the flip side, AP could not be more thrilled at what they've seen here tonight. I mean, there was a lot of riding high and expectation of the new coach of Fonts, but you didn't know, right? You didn't know until you saw it in person. It had to pass the eye test. You had to see how it looked, and so far it's looked great. It has looked about as good as it can look for a first game of the season nonetheless, and the type of execution and the way that they've been able to overcome mistakes, I think, is the biggest thing that has really shown the sign of a true leader at the coaching position. After some crucial mistakes at the start of this game, the way that they were able to overcome and just completely flip that and take over a game like this tonight, it has been really fun to watch, and they are going to be an exciting team throughout this year.
When you talk about Zach Fonts, his coaching career, Akron Westfield High School, he coached 1 season there, but he led the team to a 4-5 record, helping them snap a very long losing streak when he took over there. He spent 3 years at Ottumwa High School, compiling a 12-17 record there, but guided the team to 2 postseason appearances. Then he moved on as a head coach at Bondurant Farrar the past few seasons. Turned them into a very successful team from 2015 to 2023. In fact, he coached 10 seasons there, highlighted by a historic trip to the Unidome in 2023 that earned him Iowa Football Coaches Association Class 4A Coach of the Year award. And now, after spending the last couple seasons as an assistant coach at Waukee, he's back as a head coach here at Aplington Parkersburg. So, nice run here for Zach Fonts. Falcons deciding to punt this one. They got to pin Grundy Center deep. That's going to be a touchback, so Grundy Center will get it at the 20-yard line. Talk about Travis Zajac and the run that Grundy Center has had here. He's in his 7th year at Grundy Center, 90-43 overall as a head coach. But in his previous 6 seasons, not counting tonight's game, 72-5.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's insane. And every season he has appeared at the Unidome.
Obviously with a 50-game winning streak, that's the best record among coaches for that time span. 3 consecutive state titles, 22, 23, 24, 6 straight state title games from 2019 to 2024, 5 straight district titles, and it all came after he went 18-38 in 6 seasons coaching Dubuque Walker Catholic from 2013 to 2018, but he guided the Golden Eagles to a playoff appearance his final year there before he took the Grundy Center job. Here's a handoff, Grundy Center. They're not going to do anything more fancy. They know that this is going to be a tough road at the end here, down by 20, 27-7 with 3:42 to go.
Yeah, and at this point, I think this, these last few plays for Grundy, this is just about execution, right? This is just a matter of getting some snaps in and just proving to yourselves more than anything that we can execute at a higher level than what we did perform the rest of this night. So this is a matter of just coming over what maybe the final result's going to be tonight, and just still being able to go out there and execute like you're still able to put together a final drive and kind of pretend like if we get a touchdown, we win the game kind of situation. Let's go out there and execute and see what we can put together.
Swing pass far side. Grundy Center's going to get a first down right there as they throw that one out to Frisley on the far side. Good gain there on the play from the 23-yard line. They'll mark him down here after the Merrill tackle at the 30. Oh, let's see. They're going to mark it here at the 33-yard line, 34-yard line. So it's a gain of 11. You're also saying where you don't want your kids to quit either, especially on a season opener.
Well, and for Grundy Center kids, you never expect that, right, from these kind of kids. But on the flip side, I'm not saying anything bad about. Oh, here, hold on. We'll watch this play here.
Oh, that's up for grabs. It's a jump ball, and it's incomplete. Boy, it was thrown just underthrown to the intended target down that far sideline. See, Grundy Center's not quitting. They're fighting hard. And this is more about setting up down the road. Not necessarily week 1, but for weeks 2, 3, 4, and down the future.
Well, and kind of going to the point I was saying, I mean, whenever we watch Grundy Center and how much success that they've had, it has been one of the most things that I really respect is the way that the kids present themselves. It always feels like they're super humble, and they just seem like very well behaved, and they're always just a great unit. But it's also easy to do that when you're winning, right? Yep. It's easy to be humble when you're winning. When you're losing, and maybe you're not executing where you thought you would be, it does bring a different dynamic to it. So obviously you still want to see that at all levels no matter what, but we've only seen that with how much success that they've had. So now coming into the season, we'll see how the rest of the season goes, obviously, but the way that this first game has looked, it might be a different kind of feel for this team of Grundy Center, and it's about overcoming that aspect of it. There's still plenty of time, obviously, to improve, and under a great coach, we just talked about his resume of Zajac on how this team is going to look from, we'll talk about maybe down the road, Week 8, how this team how much different they look versus Week 1, because we have this mental note in our head. This is how they've looked Week 1. How are they going to look mid-season? How are they going to look at the end of the season? What's their record going to be like, and how are they going forward?
Last pass play went 6 yards from Meester to Frisley, and now a short pass dumped out here to Lake Schrage. That's going to result in a first down. That's going to be about a 9-yard gain up to the 48-yard line. So, again, they're trying to get positive yardage here, down by 3 scores late in the game. Schrage, his 5th catch tonight. That is also the 21st completion of the evening for Ethan Meester. So they've thrown the ball a lot more tonight than probably Coach Zajac wants. He likes to run a balanced offense. We know that from the past. But you find ways to win. That's the best attack for it. And there's Hayden Gertis up the middle for an 11-yard run and another Grundy Center first down to the 41-yard line. Eberhardt with the tackle.
If there's anything we've learned watching Grundy Center over the years is that no matter the kind of talent that is presented, no matter the styles that you have at whatever skill position it is, Coach Zajac is going to find a way to bring out the best in every single player that he's got. So I think this Week 1 is going to say a lot about what he does have and where the strengths and where the weaknesses are in this offense. And I think Week 2 is going to look a lot different than Week 1. I can't say if they're going to come out with a victory or not, but I can definitely say that the execution and the play style is probably going to look a lot different from what we've seen here tonight.
Well, Meester faked the handoff. He will scramble his way up for another first down here from Grundy Center, going from the 42-yard line, getting forward progress to the 28-yard line. So a gain of 12 on the play there for Ethan Meester. Nice run for him. I thought maybe they might try to toss one to the end zone, but 29 seconds left. Clock will stop here as they move to 6 for the first down. Grundy Center right now with 12 first downs in the night. That is their 4th of this second half. Twin receivers make that trip. Receivers, top of the formation. One comes down low. Meester remains in the gun. Gertis to his left. Here's the snap. Hand off to Gertis. He'll cut back to the left side, fight his way off one tackle. He'll be brought down there at the 23-yard line, and that will be the final play of the night. A 4-yard pickup there for Hayden Gertis. And for the first time since the 2018 season, Grundy Center loses back-to-back ball games. The final game last year in the state semifinals and the opener here in this 2026 season. But it's been that kind of a run, and Grundy Center will try to get back now. They got a tough opponent here first round. We talked about the importance of playing a good, tough first-round opponent. And Aplington Parkersburg may be playing Grundy Center was the angle we took there, but it turns out it was the flip side. Grundy Center playing a very good Aplington Parkersburg team that Grundy Center, or Falcons knew what they had. Outside of Falcon country, I'm not sure they knew how strong this team looked, but they look very good here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame us for maybe thinking Grundy was going to be the favorites coming in here tonight, right? I mean, coming off a 50-game winning streak, we haven't seen this unit necessarily, and AP coming off a, I believe, 3-5 season, right, versus last year. I think it's pretty safe to say, I don't want to jinx them or anything, I don't think they're going to be in 3-5 again this year. I think we're going to see them above 500 at the end of the season for the Falcons. But they looked excellent tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about a pre or post game, but AP, you got a good team here tonight. Have a lot of confidence and be happy with new head coach Coach Fonts. He looks like he is very well prepared. This team looks very excited and jolted, and they got a lot of momentum coming after this first win.
And in high school, he learned a lot from one of the best coaches ever to coach high school football in the state of Iowa. Ken Winkler was his high school coach, a Hall of Famer. 27-7 the final here tonight as Grundy Center falls in this 2026 opener to the Falcons of Aplington Parkersburg here tonight at Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg. We'll take a break. Post-game show is coming up next for you. right after this on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Greenbelt Bank and Trust.
Offices in Iowa Falls, Ackley, Grundy Center, Eldora, Belmont, and Parkersburg. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Greenbelt Bank and Trust. Small town, big hearts.
Leading the way.
When your air conditioner, furnace, or plumbing fails, call Lon's Plumbing and Heating. For over 30 years, Lon's Plumbing and Heating in Rhinebeck has handled all your plumbing, air conditioning, and heating needs. Lon's Plumbing and Heating, your trusted local experts for more than 30 years.
In Ziering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding areas, Minerva Valley Company is your local provider for high-speed fiber internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. At Hardin County Savings Bank, every time you use your HCSB debit card, local schools benefit. Help support school activities, events, and programs in our communities. Sign up for HCSB Cash for Schools today. Napa Farmers Feed and Supply in Rhinebeck is your local source for auto repair, tire repair, oil changes, and on-the-farm tire service. Call 319-788-2000. Did you know Partner Communications offers electrical services? From changing lights to wiring a new home, we can help. We have free estimates. You can call Partner today at 641-498-7701.
Show your school pride every time you shop with the People's Savings Bank School Pride Debit Card. Choose from AGWSR, Dike New Hartford, or Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Every swipe helps support your local schools. Stop by any PSB location and get yours today. Member FDIC.
Final score tonight here from Ed Thomas Field in Parkersburg. Grundy Center falling in this 2026 opener 27-7. Grundy Center scored on its opening drive, and then AP come back and scored 27 unanswered to knock off the Spartans here tonight. It was a 14-7 game at the half, so it's still very much everyone's game, but it just did not go Grundy Center's way here in the second half.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it because it seemed like the game was kind of wrapped up a bit. Towards that fourth quarter. But this is just a very different result, obviously, than what we're used to out of a Grundy Center opening game. I mean, we're so used to Grundy Center not just winning, dominating games on all levels, but this definitely feels like a game where, I kind of mentioned earlier, I feel like it's going to be different. We're going to see a different team from here tonight in week one going towards the end of the season, right? It feels like there's going to be definitely some changes, whether that's with scheme, whether that's with personnel. It feels like this is going to be a completely different team at the end of the season versus week one, right? It's just been the Grundy Center way. And even coming after an opening loss like this that, frankly, they didn't look great at a lot of aspects. There's obviously room for a lot of improvement, but it just feels like there's definitely going to be some improvement, right, from Grundy Center. Usually all teams do, but especially at Grundy Center's level, just feels like going into the midseason where you're going to see things change. You're going to hopefully see things improve, and this is still non-district, right? It's not going to affect their playoff necessarily resume of sorts, so they can internalize that, they can go forward, and they can improve because they definitely got talent around this team, and they can definitely find a way to improve.
27-7 is the final. We'll take another break. Come back after this on 94.3 FM KDAO and Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
API has you covered, literally. Top quality shingles, metal, rubber, and flat roofs, roofing and siding for home, farm, and business. See the API local showroom on Highway 175 East in Eldora. Free professional inspections and estimates. API Roofing, Siding, and Gutters.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
Colotel Fiber is connecting Iowa communities to the future. Enjoy reliable fiber internet with managed Wi-Fi, unlimited use, and no data caps. Colotel Fiber, fast, reliable, and local. Cooley Pumping and Sanitation is family-owned and offers septic pumping, drain cleaning, portable restrooms, inspections, dumpsters, and roll-offs. Cooley Pumping and Sanitation, experienced, dependable, and ready to help.
D&B Agrisystems has the grain storage, handling, and conditioning equipment you need. From site planning and design to installation and service, their experienced team is ready to help. Plus, pre-season equipment checks help keep you running smoothly. D&B Agrisystems, ready for harvest, ready to serve you. The Eldora Hy-Vee store offers large town variety with small town friendliness. Find everything you need from fresh produce and quality meats to bakery favorites and everyday essentials. The Eldora Hy-Vee store, big selection, hometown service.
24 years of honest work and fair prices. Matt Schuyler and Jason at Eldora Tire and Alignment have the know-how to keep your vehicle running right this fall. A dealer of hand-cooked tires. That's Eldora Tire and Alignment, Highway 175 East Eldora. Experience you can trust.
Ellsworth Community College is preparing students for success with affordable education and hands-on learning. Whether you're starting your college journey or preparing for a career, Ellsworth Community College is here to help you succeed. RTU doesn't just serve Rhinebeck. We've brought high-speed internet to rural Grundy and Tama counties, and we're soon going to be in Traer. Your hometown provider, growing with the community. RTU. Learn more at rhinebeck.net. Farm Bureau Financial Services offers customized coverage for your farm, machinery, livestock, and more. All in one policy, one premium, and one deductible. Contact Farm Bureau agent Kyle Blom or sales associate Justin Teesing in Rhinebeck.
What up and back here at Ed Thomas Field along with Austin Johansson. Austin down on the field right now talking to Grundy Center coach Travis Zajac. Not the type of night that Grundy Center is used to, falling tonight 27-7 in this 2026 season opener to the Falcons of Aplington Parkersburg. Didn't know a lot about AP since they finished 3-5 a year ago. We knew there was a lot of excitement surrounding this program this year by those that understand Aplington Parkersburg football. It's been a while since it has kind of met the standards of a program that's dominated the state of Iowa here a few years ago. They're trying to get back to that standard, and tonight looked the part here as they played very well against Grundy Center in winning this game here this evening. 27-7 the final as Grundy Center scored on its opening drive of the night, getting a 55-yard pass play from quarterback Ethan Meester to Hayden Gertis. Cooper Keller added the point after kick. 7-0 the score. Grundy Center winning it at the 10-14 mark of the first quarter. Tonight, Meester able to throw for nearly 200 yards on 21 completions tonight. And receiving-wise this evening, it was Gertis, their leading receiver, caught 4 catches for 80 yards, including that 55-yard scoring pass on the opening game. Aplington Parkersburg did not look good on its first 2 possessions. In fact, they fumbled the football and then committed a penalty on its second offensive possession after Grundy Center recovered. They were stopped. But Falcons came back and were able to tie the game on a 67-yard run from Mason Prusner to the end zone. Zion Eulenhop then added the point after kick to make it 7-7. And then Meester dropped back to pass for Grundy Center late in the first quarter. His pass over the middle was intercepted by Mason Kopp. He returned it 50 yards, and Aplington Parkersburg had the 14-7 lead after one quarter, and it remained that way until halftime. Aplington Parkersburg, though, turned it up in the second half, scoring on a 55-yard scoring pass from Harrison Schultz to Wes Shirk. 2:52 remaining third quarter. They made it 20-7, and then AP added a 4th touchdown in the fourth quarter. 10:49 to go. And Tate Fonts hooking up on an 84-yard scoring pass from Schultz for the 27-7 victory tonight. Eulenhop's kick came after that 4th touchdown. The 3rd kick after the 3rd touchdown was blocked by Grundy Center. That's why it was a 27-7 score. So Ethan Meester again over 200 yards passing tonight unofficially with 21 throws on the evening. And it was Gertis, the top receiver, catching 4 balls for 80 yards here tonight. Those are the top offensive guys for Grundy Center. Harrison Schultz throwing the football for Grundy Center, completed just 5 passes, 2 of which went for 55 and 84 yards. 179 yards total tonight for Harrison Schultz. And then running the football this evening, Mason Prusner carried the ball a total of 15 times for 146 yards unofficially for Aplington Parkersburg. So a team that finished 3-5 a year ago, off to a 1-0 start this year under the guidance of first-year coach Zach Fonts, who is a graduate of West Marshall High School, a native of Melbourne, down in our neck of the woods, and he makes a successful debut here with Aplington Parkersburg tonight as they win it by a final score of 27-7. We'll get a quick recap here. Coach Zajac not coming up to talk to us right now, but I know that Austin Johansson was on the field to kind of talk to Travis, get his thoughts on the game tonight.
Yes, it was.
How do you feel about it?
I think it's just kind of probably what you expect out of Zajac. I think he took some responsibility for just putting Ethan Meester in some bad spots. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of winded from trying to hurry back here to the broadcast booth. But yeah, I think a lot of it he kind of went through on execution tonight. Just wasn't at execution level, and just maybe a little bit unprepared coming into this year. I think they knew that. Oh goodness, I was trying to talk all in one breath, but I think they just knew that they were maybe just not as prepared as I think they wanted to be here tonight. And I think they understood that this is going to be a new team this year and a little bit different from what they expected. And, I think it's kind of business as usual going into next week, and next week prepares. But I think there's going to be some changes, obviously, and how they want to set up the offense and find ways of success. And I think kind of what we initiated to didn't capitalize on some mistakes that AP had and weren't able to gain that momentum at the start of the game, and ended up just losing to the better team here tonight to AP.
Aplington Parkersburg's first win over Grundy Center since September 18th of 2015, a 52-0 win that night for Aplington Parkersburg. Grundy Center's won the previous 3 meetings since then, but tonight it went Aplington Parkersburg's way as they win it 27-7 over Grundy Center. That's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight. Want to be sure and join us here next week, as week number 2 for us will feature West Marshall making the long road trip up to Chickasaw County to take on New Hampton. Austin and I will take the air at around 6:30 for our pregame coverage. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock from New Hampton next Friday night. We'll join you on the broadcast then. Our other game on Rewind 93 KDAO is going to feature West Fork hosting BCLUW. Andy Jennings will have the call of that game next week. That'll be our 2 broadcast games. Again, that game also will have pregame at 6:30 and the kickoff at 7 o'clock. For Austin Johansson, I would have been saying good night and so long. Thank you for joining us. The final score tonight, Aplington Parkersburg 27, Grundy Center 7 on 94.3 FM, KDAO, and Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.